What is going on?
We're live.
Chaos the whole way down. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Chocolatiers, episode 22. Oh my god, 22 episodes! That's amazing. My name is D. I am the Dungeon Master for today. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons in a little bit. You'll notice one of our people aren't here just yet. Aery is on the way, but is running late and will be arriving eventually, or not. I don't know. We're going to find it. We'll survive. And if we don't, it's your fault. And all of you now know. All of you will be responsible for that. It's going to be the community gif. Aery's going to come back. Everything's going to be on fire. Just like...
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah, let's do some quick introductions before we hop back into the session. With Aery out, Natalie.
Oh fuck.
It's your number one, yeah.
Hi, I'm Natalie. I'm Burrows. I play Natalie. Both work, technically. I'm a half-orc barbarian who I would say is a disaster, but is probably one of the most put together of the group. Aside from maybe Oriana. I reckon Oriana's probably first.
That's an illusion.
Yeah.
Magic.
I exist as a person. Yes. In D&D, weirdly enough.
And
Anyway.
outside of it too.
Well, true. I do
Well,
stuff outside of it.
We'll get to that
Yeah.
later on. Up next, we've got Eminence.
Hi guys, I'm Nicole. I play Eminence. She is a tiefling warlock, and since Kat isn't here to introduce Aery, I will be stealing the title of Disaster. Because she is a disaster, just in general. And she has a sister who we will meet now.
Hi, I'm Mel. I'm Lefson. I play Oriana. She is a tiefling cleric, and she is a barely held together disaster. But, you know, I feel like she does a pretty good job most of the time at looking like she is confident and certain of her life choices.
I
Unlike
feel
me.
Fooling us.
more and more of the party is just slowly devolving into a disaster, bit by bit. I can't wait for the plot to really thicken for y'all to get into full disaster mode. But speaking of plot, let's catch up on what happened last time. The party was stationed in Valater. They had met with the king and all of his retinue. Eminence had her lunch date with Silence. They had dinner later that evening with Shazarash, and halfway through the dinner, there was an earthquake that did a significant amount of damage to the city of Valater. In the ensuing chaos, a gaggle of kobolds erupted from the sewers nearby, and despite their initial desire not to fight, they seem to have been spurred on by a bit of chaos from the scene, and the party set to dispatch the kobolds. Shortly thereafter, they made their way down towards the deep wood, specifically trying to follow the ripples in the ground radiating outward from that location, whereupon the party seemed to place the epicenter of this earthquake at the Forest of Statues, specifically somewhere from nearby the strange skyrock that the party had left in the care of Satine. Upon arriving, they found that somehow one of the statues in the Forest of Statues had been animated, specifically the statue of the Ogre. Not only was it animated, but it was malicious. And the party was able to come to the rescue to Satine and dispatch the Ogre and defeat it, with Natalie only going unconscious once. So that's big plus, big win. But that is where we pick up. It is nighttime, about an hour and a half after sunset. The breeze blows more and more fragments of dust and upturned soil into the air. That kind of stings your nose as you inhale. Your eyes have to blink just against the remaining particulates in the air. And you can still feel sort of that like filmy dust on your fingers just from the sheer volume of activity nearby as the 4 of you, including Aery, who will be silent for the time being, get an opportunity to recover around the overgrown wagon currently housing the Skyrock.
Aery had just been flattened. I assume he's a bit traumatized.
He's got a concussion.
Yeah.
Just lying on the ground like,
Despite the incredible regenerative magics that you saw, like something happened with Aery and his regeneration was crazy good, but he's still a little shaken.
Mentally exhausted.
Yeah.
Emotionally exhausted. That also works. I guess once we've had a moment, so the cart is currently overgrown, you said, right?
Yes.
Does it look like the cart is overgrown because, like, of a natural... Like, would it have naturally grown this much in that amount of time? Or does it look like there is something afoot?
I just love that image. Is there something afoot with this cart?
Yeah.
Make an investigation check for me.
Shit, that's not what I'm good at.
It's gonna be pretty basic. Or you could do nature as well, I guess.
They're both intelligence. I'm not good with either of those. But that's still a 15, so natural 16 and then 15. So
Yeah.
that's not the worst.
You left this cart here like 3 or 4 days ago, and the cart was a little bit older from when it was left out from the center of the deep wood, but very clearly this is like decades worth of plant growth that has occurred within the span of like 4 days. And not just the plant growth itself, the wood of the cart is sort of rotting and decaying. Like the wheels are cracked and broken, the spokes missing in some places. It looks like if you were walking through the woods and you stumbled across a cart that had been there for years and years and years, you'd be like, oh, this has always been here. But you know that not to be true. You know that you left it here 4 days ago.
Hmm.
Does Satine look like she has aged?
She does not. She's shaken and she has recently had her arm healed, but she still appears to be the same age. That said, it's kind of difficult with is she a halfling or is she a gnome?
That's what I was wondering.
Oh,
Both
wow,
are pretty
which-
long-lived. Like gnomes
which
are.
book? Yeah.
I thought she was a halfling, but I could be wrong.
I think she's a halfling. Yeah.
I thought she was a gnome. Oh god.
I mean, I can zoom back through my notes, but maybe it's
See.
never explicitly said and we all just assumed.
And I've got it. I know this is the right notebook.
That's okay. While you do that, I imagine that we've set ourselves up so that, like, you know, when you're like chilling and you've got like you have like your bedroll on the back and you just like lying on the ground, just like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Just like sitting in a weird half circle kind of deal, just like relaxing as Aery's just staring up at the sky.
Yeah.
Just for while that's going on, Oriana is not relaxing. She is very much expecting there to be more stone ogre things. Gonna keep an eye out
all
for
well
that.
and good for you. You didn't nearly die.
Nope.
Yeah, I think Eminence.
And maybe if you took some combat pointers from the war cleric, you might not have almost died.
What do you mean? I'd like to think that that's maybe something Oriana says in character.
Yeah, I actually feel like Oriana would not understand the fact that Natalie just doesn't wear armor. It's just like, maybe if you put on some metal.
It just slows me down. It makes me slower and I'm less able to do my job.
You're also less able to do your job if you've been impaled.
I wasn't impaled. I was squished. There's a difference. You can get squished in metal too.
Still significantly more difficult.
It's not
If
that
I
much more
recall,
difficult.
Ori, you couldn't move for about half the fight because of the noise that would have made. So
Whose side are you on?
the people who just almost died.
I'm just trying to give some potentially helpful tips on how not to die next time.
Yes, but it's your tone. It's your tone.
My tone is completely the wrong character. This is not the right character's voice today. Pitch that down like a whole heap. You're right. That was slightly out of character of me. I'll just shut up and not help.
Look, there is no kind of metal in this world that can contain these bad boys.
Big sigh. I would actually big sigh, but the microphone might not pick it up.
At that
I
point,
think
El
just-
Romeo, yeah.
Out of spite, Natalie will like pull up
I
her
forgot
shirt a
El
little more
Romeo's
and
here.
tie it at the front. Just like showing off even more skin just to be like, screw you then. Anyway, yes.
El Romeo kind of leans forward. Have you tried custom armor? Just food for thought.
Don't you start.
I'm not. You
Have
did
you
good.
tried custom armor?
Good job fighting. I am very impressed with everything that I've seen from you today. Thank you for keeping us safe.
I mean, I'm technically the one who killed it, but
And you as well. I think you noticed that I missed a lot, which is impressive considering how large this creature is.
Do you fight much,
Hey.
El Romeo?
No. No, I do not.
Maybe it was just you would overcome. Makes sense.
Yes, that's what I am going to tell people. I'm going to take a look at the corpse, and he walks over and starts looking at the dust, the giant pile of rock and dust.
While we are sitting down, are we looking to take a short rest?
yes, please.
Well, it's because I would like to spend some hit dice.
I would also like to go investigate the dusty corpse thing, but I'm happy to have a short rest.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean-
I would say you could probably spend like 10 or 15 minutes or so investigating, and then the rest of the time resting.
I'm not doing so bad. Like, if I do have to miss a short rest, I'm fine. But I would like to investigate. So.
Yes. Is there something specific that you want to try to look for or look at?
I want to see if there's... Sorry, the dog is slamming the chair into the desk. I want to see if there's anything that could have magically woken this thing back up, like evidence of a spell. I know it's like mostly dust, but just anything that would suggest why it came back.
Sure. Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Yeah, I'm not very intelligent, so that's 11 plus 1. 12.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you take about 10 minutes or so, and you look at it from this way and from that way, and you pick up the rock and look at it. El Romeo seems to be a little bit more comprehensive in his investigation. He's trying to like roughly piece it back together, like this arm piece goes here, just to sort of get a view of the whole thing. I see the look of disgust on Natalie's face.
No,
and like,
my D&D Beyond decided to crash, and I was like, don't. I
Oh,
haven't
okay.
downloaded my character sheet, so I'm doing that immediately.
I thought that was just your reaction to like El Romeo is piecing it back together, and the
Oh no, we just
terrified
got
face.
lost Nicole too.
Yeah.
Yeah, her
she
face
said,
disappeared and now she's gone bye-bye.
Internet crash.
Oh,
Oh,
no!
God.
Oh no! Everything
The-
is going so dramatically.
The whole
back.
internet is breaking. Welcome back.
Hello?
Hopefully this is fine. I'm not in a bad house, so let's assume that was an anomaly.
All good.
Not even all that stormy at the moment.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Everything crossed.
Yes, so with your investigation, actually we'll do it's difficult to say. You don't know exactly what magic is in place that creates the statues in the first place, and you don't necessarily know what could cause a statue to animate. You know that there does exist necromantic magic to bring the dead back to life. You know that there does exist manipulative magic to make non-animate objects come to pseudo life. Based on your interaction with the creature, it didn't appear to be alive. It didn't appear to have like consciousness, as it were. So no clear conclusions. The only things that kind of line up is the fact that it happened to be around the time of the earthquake, which was when magic turned off for everyone. But whether or not that's related, why would magic turn off and then the statue animate? You don't know.
Like when the power comes back on and your printer just reboots.
It just does a test page.
Yeah.
What if something was keeping it?
Yeah.
Like, oh no, that's way worse.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just for the sake of it, can we look around to see if there are any other tracks outside of Satine's? Because she should be the only one here, theoretically, and obviously we have ours as well. But just in case anyone maybe had come inside.
So y'all already made an investigation check when you first arrived at the Forest of Statues, and the only other set of footprints that you saw after the earthquake was Satine's.
But that was at the beginning, right? Like we couldn't see up to this
Yes.
point. Is there anything around
it
here?
also
Maybe?
included this segment of the Forest of Statues,
Okay,
because
sure.
it is kind of behind the illusory barrier. You followed her footprints to the statue of the dead King Arnold, and then off and around.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Cool.
God, sometimes my DM bone is like, I write something and then y'all are like, I have a question about this, and I'm like, I want it. I just like crumple up my notes and throw them away and like, yes, more of that.
I like that more.
No,
I don't
committed.
know.
I've written this.
Did you work anything out, Oriana? Natalie will say from her like cross-arm position on the floor.
No. Not really.
That's annoying.
I would be suspicious that this may not be the only one. But that could just be me being suspicious. There's not much evidence here that I can see.
No reason to believe that this would be the only one either.
Exactly.
I think it's always good to expect the worst.
I think perhaps we should try to get out of here as soon as possible.
But I want to know. Can't we have a little one? Just a little one.
Oh, I definitely think we could all use a nap, but... Well, it seems just as dangerous to try to head home without resting a little, doesn't it?
Yeah. For real.
El Romeo kind of chimes in. Only if you expect more trouble.
We always expect more trouble.
There always is more trouble.
Well,
maybe not ogre-sized trouble.
Park your butts. Let's sit for a moment. We can...
Satine, kind of hearing the conversation, comes over. I can take a look, and if anyone knows the statues I do, I can see if any of them have moved in any way.
That would be very helpful, but please stay where we can see you. We wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
She kind of holds out her hand, and a couple of orbs of light just kind of bloop, 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 appear and illuminate her. I think you should be able to see this in the dark. Even if you can't see me directly, as long as you can see the lights, you should know. And if something happens, I'll just put them out. Or, holler. Again, it's not that far.
Both. Do both.
Yell very
Okay.
loudly.
Yes. And she starts to head off to investigate the statues.
Where we've set ourselves up, how far away from the stone and the cart are we?
You tell me.
Not too close.
Okay.
Not too close, but I would imagine not too far either. Probably closer to the ogre, I'd imagine, right?
Yeah, like eyesight, but yeah, definitely I'd say more than like 30 feet away.
Yeah, so that's what's kind of difficult. In order to see it, you have to be like 10 feet from it because
okay,
of the
yeah.
illusory barrier.
True.
Maybe
Also,
we should have
if
got her to drop that before we.
That's
If
fine.
we're
We don't
inside
need
the
to
barrier, though,
see
we have a
it.
level of protection while we're resting.
Yes, but you would be resting next to.
Yeah.
We know where it is. I think we're pretty safe to go and sit somewhere else knowing that it's still there. I'd rather do that than nap near it and something weird happen.
Yeah, agree.
Plus, if something wants to hurt us, then at least we're out in the open already. And might not go immediately for Satine, so...
I fail to see how that's a good thing.
Well, if it's gonna hit one of us, may as well be us, right? Plus, Oriana's got her
Sure.
fancy armor. See how she goes with the smoosh.
Just see if there's some kind of like shieldy spell that I can cast while we're doing this.
Like crushing a soda can.
Wow.
Those hydraulic press videos.
Oh, they're so fun though. But
They're so satisfying.
But yeah,
I'm
I
being
guess
picked on.
You started it.
You started it.
I guess we short rest. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to recover some health.
Yes.
Yeah, I would very much like
you,
some magic back.
You settle down and take a bit of time to rest. And like most post-combat rests, the first 10 or 15 minutes or so is your heart rate just coming down and relaxing. And even after the combat has been well and fully finished for 15 or 20 minutes, there's still just this weight to the air around you. Over time, the dust slowly settles a little bit more and more, and it doesn't quite sting your eyes or dry out your nostrils whenever you breathe as much as it did. And every now and again, you do get an occasional breeze, and you can almost see the breezes as they blow past, kicking up freshly released soil and dust into the air. But your hour passes and your your short rest completes without incident.
Is that such a possible thing as holding your action unless I smell mint? That's one thing. If mint at all ever comes up in a short rest, I'm done. I'm up. I'm ready to go.
Goodbye.
Weapon
ready.
Yeah, pretty much. Just wanted to make the joke. Anyway, yes.
You're going to be at like a fine dining restaurant. Someone's like, and some mint for the palate. And you're going to be like, no!
Mint, I've been hurt before.
Flip the platter.
And present like mint with a steak or something. Like, isn't that a common thing? Like a mint
Yeah.
jelly
Just a
or
garnish.
something. Yeah, I'm just
What goes with mint sauce? Lamb? I hate mint sauce, but that's a thing, right?
Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
thing, I think. Maybe it goes really well with Displacer Beast. Who knows?
Yeah. Everything goes well with Displacer Beast. It's the chicken of this world.
But yeah, I guess as we get up, did Satine find anything?
When your short rest finishes, she's still going from statue to statue. You can see her like little lights kind of bobbing around and then stopping for a little bit and then bobbing. It is interesting to see the shadowy silhouettes illuminated and not quite see the source because she is a gnome. I even have her height written down, 2'7".
Oh, so little. Oh.
But you can see that she is still continuing to move on by.
I mean, I understand that we can leave this till later, but how the fuck are we moving that rock? That card is not usable right now.
Well, I kind of assumed that would be a problem for the left to deal with once they get here.
Well, we have to get it to their drop-off point, right? That's what their letter said.
Oh, I forgot about that. I mean, we could tell them to come here, right?
I mean, then we'd have to go meet them and then bring them back.
True.
Because we're meant to be meeting them to the north of the city. They might not be super happy if we're like, hey, we didn't bring the thing that you want, it's further in.
Out of character, how did we get the rock here?
On the
On that
card.
wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we need to do we need to drag it around like magically or something? Because I know we had heaps of trouble getting the rock onto the wagon because nobody could touch it. I guess once
Yeah.
it was on there,
It
we
was
were
just a
submitting-
regular cart. Like
Yeah.
a couple of days ago, the cart was fine. The cart had traveled from the center of the deep wood out. But in the days since, it's as if it hasn't been 4 days. It's as if it's been like 14 years.
This is the one time in any campaign that I wish that I had carpenter's tools. The one time. Like...
It's always something.
Damn.
Does anyone have any kind of repairing magic?
Yeah, you got something fancy to just not make it fall apart? I mean, it's obviously still holding it, I suppose. I just don't know how long it's going to last.
I don't think it's going to be able to wheel, even if it can physically hold them.
Well, I mean, we can get rid of some of the vines and things, I guess. It's, yeah, just structurally probably not sound.
I mean, I have my unseen servant, but last time it wasn't strong enough to do much of anything. Honestly, I don't even know where I have that thing.
Do you have anything cool, El Romeo?
Well, I think I can try the mending cantrip. But generally, it is really only good for small fixes. For an entire wagon would be quite difficult. At best, maybe I could try just for the wheels.
I mean, at least if we can get some of the stuff off it, get it as close to its original form as we could. Maybe spend some time getting rid of these vines and maybe putting on a few extra pieces or something. That might help.
What if we could just strap it to a horse somehow? I mean, the horse would have to touch it, but it's a horse, who cares?
Wouldn't
I
the
care.
horse... No, if you just hold the rope, then you're not touching it?
You mean like drag it?
Is that not what you are suggesting?
Well, we tried that last time, you see, and it seemed that being in contact with the rope so touching it was still a problem.
Maybe Satine has a wagon? Surely they have to have some way of getting a body here, right? Or do people usually bring the bodies here and then there's like a hearse service that brings them in or something?
Rock in a hearse.
hearse. It's actually just a wagon attached to a horse that maybe has like a cover on the top.
The Chocolatiers are going to be like that meme of the guy dancing on the back of the hearse, just like emerge from the hearse and just start dancing.
That sounds about right. That sounds very on brand. Well, yeah, we can ask
Coming
her when she gets back, maybe. She has to have some way of moving things around here. Oriana, you look deep in thought. Did you find that shield you were looking for?
What?
Last
This is
thing you said-
a me what?
Last thing you said was that you were looking for a shield.
Spell. I was looking for a spell. I'm still looking for a spell.
Shield
Now
spell.
looking for a different spell.
Oh, okay.
What exactly do we remember the rock doing? Did it paralyze us if we touched it, or was that just something that I have added because I just read the word paralysis? It kind of like stunned you a bit, I feel.
Do you want to touch it and find out?
Not really. I'm trying to remember what happened last time to someone who touched
Make a
it.
history check for me. Make a history check.
Okay, that's a 16. I don't think I have any plus to my history. Oh no, I have +5 to history.
Jeez.
Well, I know my skills real well.
Yeah, so touching the stone directly was weird. It like shook at your foundation, like imagine trying to bake a cake while the house is in the middle of an earthquake. You can do it. It's just probably not great to do for an extended period of time. Let alone the damage to the house. You found that the effects were reduced when touching it through a proxy, through a rope or a tarp or something, but still present. And from your time with the rock coming out of the deep wood, you remember that it had to do with proximity. So the first few, I think it was the first night or two, the party slept right next to the rock and they woke up and weren't rested. And then later on, they started sleeping further away and then they were fine.
The thing I was looking at is not going to be a thing that is going to help then. But I definitely feel like there definitely should be some kind of hearse cart in a funeral forest. Maybe we'll go look for that when Satine comes back.
Plus, I'm sure the crown can reimburse Satine for a hearse cart if anything happens to it, right, El Romeo?
What?
If we take a cart, anything happens to it, they would be able to be reimbursed for it, I'm sure.
Why would... We would consider it a loan with very generous terms.
I mean, it would be. I don't think Natalie would argue this, but good to know. Good to know. A hearse can be replaced. Yeah, I guess then we just wait for Satine. I don't know that I really want to bother her, but I'm also not good with magic, so if anyone wants to, feel free.
In.
Well, because she's investigating currently the
Yeah.
statue forest.
I mean, yeah, I'm happy to let her finish looking around at things before she comes back because Emmy's not keen on going anywhere near this rock. She's just doing that thing where you like procrastinate because somebody else is doing something. So I may as well just wait. And it's technically their fault.
Also, I feel like she's going to know the most about this place anyway. So it probably isn't going to be super helpful for us to try and help her anyhow. So happy to wait around until she's ready.
Awesome. Whoa!
Whoa!
Look at that! Aery's feeling better.
Aery, you're awake.
Aery, stop staring up at the sky.
No, I will not ever stop staring at the sky. Hi.
But yeah, I think
So-
consensus is we're letting Satine continue doing her thing.
Good for
Right.
her. I'm happy for her.
So she started when you started your long rest. She still probably doesn't finish until maybe about 30 minutes after you finish. So it's probably a full 90 minutes of going by each one before she finally returns over towards the rest of you and nods to Aery as Aery seems to have recovered as well. I took a look and most of them are fine. There's been some damage. Some of them fell over and broke different ornamentation. A few suffered some more serious damage that hopefully we can mend. But none of the others appear to have moved, from what I can tell.
That's good at least.
That's good news, yes.
What about the rest of you? What have you seen? What have you decided?
We've been discussing how we're going to go about moving this. Just like gesture at the general state of the cart.
Yeah. Yeah, El Romeo has his mending. He's gonna go over and try doing some mending to the cart.
I'm also just checking my spells to see if I have mending, but I don't think I do.
Mhm.
No, I don't.
I'd also be happy to maybe cut away some of this extra stuff so there's not extra magic that needs, because obviously it's only cantrip, so I'm happy to make it a little easier by trying to clear the way a little.
Yeah, I'm happy to chop some vines.
Easy peasy. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for that. It's fairly easy to clear away some of the other overgrowth and pry it free. Puppy. And El Romeo goes over and throws his dice on the floor, and then okay. So he takes 60 seconds to cast the spell, at which point you see some of the wood of one of the wheels, one of the spokes that's kind of split, reorients and resets. And then he looks over at the rest of you. I think that I can repair some of the damage to this cart, but mending takes a minute to cast, and if I have this much damage to try and repair, it could be some time before this cart is ready.
It's
If
fine.
the
We have
mending is
nothing
able
to
to
do.
return it. Yes.
Yes, if you can just keep working on it without tiring yourself out, then
Yeah. Well,
I
luckily
don't
it is a cantrip.
Yeah.
The hope, though, is that the identity of the cart hasn't shifted too much to include the damage. If that has happened, then I cannot repair it, and it will not see the repairs as repair.
Is Satine still with us currently? Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I might turn to her then and just kind of ask her, is there any chance that we can borrow something of yours, a cart or something on those lines, to transport this out of here? If you have anything lying around, we probably should get this out of here as soon as possible.
I mean, I don't have a large wagon, but I have a small cart that I use for water. Going to a nearby well.
Judging from the rock, the rock's not, it's heavy and it's also
It's
quite
basketball
large,
size.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know that would quite work. Maybe we do just have to wait. Don't want to lift a gift cart in the mouth, but
I feel
think I
like
might
a
have to.
water-sized cart would fit a basketball-sized rock. Like, presumably she'd put like a bucket.
But it's
Yep.
heavy,
In the
right?
card.
Like
Yeah, but like
But you're
water
strong.
is heavy.
more what I'm thinking of is like, you know, like if something happens to it, you go over something too quickly or something, it could just break. Like,
I
You
mean,
also remember the pathway at the south end of the city is pretty ravaged by the earthquake. So there, some of you had to make your ways like across and around gaps that you imagine with a cart, even a mobile cart, would still be difficult.
Yeah, in that case, the small one is the better option for maneuverability.
I mean, we're looking at our options. One card that could break and one card that already is very broken. I think the answer is easy.
yeah, fair enough.
And if it's lighter, then perhaps we can help, you know, with like mage hand or whatever, if we need to lift it over gaps.
Yeah, true. Would be much easier if it's smaller. That would be great, Satine, if you could possibly organize that for us.
I'll go fetch it. And she starts heading off. You can see the lights kind of bobbing around her.
While she's off doing that, can I, because I think it's going to be pretty close by because we're near the cart, which is near where all of the hidden statues were. Can I take a wander and see whether I can find the shapeshifter statue and check whether it is intact?
Sure. Yeah. Make an investigation check for me.
Both my arms so I can roll. $15.
15. Awesome. Yeah, you are.
Someone just die in the background.
Sounded like a chicken.
Yeah.
No, neighbor's dog barked. It's like a pretty standard terrier-sounding
Oh.
bark.
Are you sure it's not a chicken? Have you checked recently?
I mean, it could be a chicken or it could be a lyrebird.
Oh.
Who knows?
Hmm.
True.
Oh, okay, that one did kind of sound like a chicken.
Yeah, you take a stroll through and you find it pretty quickly. Doesn't appear to be broken. You can sort of see the relatively featureless face, the slightly too large eyes, just staring out unblinking, sort of a neutral, relaxed pose. Doesn't appear to be broken or damaged.
That's mostly what I wanted to know. But while I'm here, now that we have met, like, oh my
Shazza.
god. Yeah, I was like, Shahrazad? That's not right. Close.
Now that we've evolved him,
No more, no
Yeah,
longer Shazamanda.
yeah. Yeah.
Shazmelian.
Jasmine.
I mean, that does work.
Oh god.
Yeah, can I just take a better look at this and see, like, I don't know whether it's wearing clothing or if it has anything else like identifiable, like jewelry or anything that gives me more of a hint as to who this person was.
Sure, yeah. Well, with your investigation, it's wearing just like a basic loincloth, and other than that is unclothed, no ornamentation. You don't see any jewelry, rings, necklace, earrings, or anything like that. The mouth is closed and just kind of in a neutral pose. Honestly, it's kind of stark compared to the rest of the statues, how the rest of the statues all have something. For example, next to this doppelganger is a goblin, and the goblin is clutching what appears to be like a small bundle of feathers that also appear to be made out of stone. To the other side, there is an orc, and even on the statue, you can see like this leather jerkin that is turned to stone, but you can see like tattoos and ornamentation underneath. But this doppelganger is deliberately plain, if you had to guess.
Interesting.
Weird.
That said, you also know that it is very uncommon to find doppelgangers without their adopting a face or a form. There is a lot of very obvious stigma about that, so...
I guess it's noteworthy, though, that at the point that it's whoever chose to have it buried wasn't burying it with, like, you know,
Yeah.
its finest clothes or
if there was like a
something
ring or
that was
something, yeah.
meaningful to it. It's like, no, we're maintaining this nothingness.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
It is a deliberate white blank slate.
Interesting.
Like white piece of paper.
Cool. Well, I'll do that and then head back over to the group.
Going through old notes, and all it said in one part was unhinged. Wonder what that was in reference to.
Probably
So many
me.
possibilities.
Does the teen need any help fetching her cart?
She's
Like-
already walked off.
Yeah, like, has
Gone
it
for, like-
been longer than I feel like it would take to fetch a cart? Do I think she's in trouble is a better way of phrasing that. Does she need help? She's already gone. Yeah. Does she need other help?
Yeah. I don't remember if you went with her to her home. I think that was just Eridan, because he snuck around in the
Oh.
trees really sus-like.
I think he fell
believe
through
it
the
was
roof as well.
On the roof.
fell through the thing.
That's right.
Fell
that's right.
through a hole in the roof. Yeah, no, I don't think she invited us back after that, unsurprisingly. No, I don't think I know where her house is.
Yeah. So, based on any stories Eridan might have told when he was still with you, her house is like a good 3 or 4 minute walk away, and then getting whatever's on the wagon clear, and then coming back. So it's barely been like 5 minutes, so she should be arriving any minute now.
Come on, lady. Bring us card. We need to leave.
I'm assuming because we haven't seen the cart yet. I'm assuming that her cart is smaller than the other cart because it's just a water cart. Is there a way in the, I'm going to say cart so many times, the original rock cart, is there a way that we can position the small cart under the big cart and, I don't know, chop it something so the rock falls from one to the other and we don't have to touch it?
Say cut one more time.
Cut.
Cart.
Is that a question for me, or is that a question for the rest of the party?
No, that is a question for you. If Oriana goes to look at the big cart, I know we haven't got the small cart yet, but God, this word is about to mean nothing to me. Is like when you say that the cart has disintegrated or it's like it's dilapidated or whatever the word is it like the rock has now fallen and is on the floor, or is it still
No.
kind of up and we could maybe tilt it so it rolls onto the other cart?
So some of the wooden boards have like rotted and fallen through and cracked and broken in places, but the stone is still supported by the cart itself. It has not fallen through. You don't know until the other cart arrives.
I shall impatiently.
Just start like tapping.
El Romeo.
Maybe like draw in the ground like this is my plan. I hope it fucking works. When the other cart gets here, I'm not good at maths.
Elrome, you are still at the old cart. Should I keep on trying to mend this?
I think let's wait until we get this other cart. We don't want you
Mending that
exerting
one
yourself
can
without...
be
Yeah.
mending that one can be plan B.
Okay.
Don't tire yourself.
All right. Yeah, and about 3 minutes later, you start to see the lights appear off in the distance as Satine begins making her way back. You can see that she is struggling with the cart. It is a little bit smaller. It only has 2 wheels, and it's kind of got like this raised lip around the sides. And she has like just like a short rope that she's kind of pulling over her shoulder. You can see that she is struggling with the cart in the very soft earth, the difficult terrain. So she's kind of like pulling the weight of the cart herself, and she's huffing and wheezing.
Happy to go over and help her. Like, kind of do that whole, like, go help pick it up and
Yeah.
move.
Absolutely. And for someone your size, it is significantly easier. You're easily able to get the rope over your shoulder, and Satine thanks you profusely. And you notice that it is, even with the okay-ish wheels on this cart, it is kind of difficult just because of like the ground isn't very dense. So the wheels are kind of sinking in about 2 or 3 inches, and it's less rolling as it is kind of just pulling through.
Yeah.
But either way, you are able to get the cart lined up with the old, dilapidated cart.
Is there an easy way to do it, like Oriana was suggesting?
You can certainly try.
I guess we could like, if it's a cart, right? We could just like cut out the bit that it's standing on, and it will like move out like that. If that makes sense, make it a ramp kind of deal.
So tilt it?
Yeah,
By breaking it, I suppose.
we have to break it. Can we just tilt it?
I mean, I'm thinking that tilting an entire cart might be harder than just already breaking the bad cart.
I mean,
It's a
you're
lot
pretty
less precise.
strong.
I know that you're a barbarian, but we don't necessarily have to break it.
But then someone has to lift it.
Like, you could
If only
try.
we had some sort of
You.
barbarian to
Muscles can be used for lift and smash.
Fine. Everyone laughs in the face of Natalie's idea. She goes into a rage and lifts the cart.
make a strength check for me, please.
I specifically will go into a rage because that will give me advantage.
Okay.
I wasn't joking about that part.
Great idea, Natalie. Shut the fuck up and lift this cart.
Do what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just hit my mic. That's a natural 1 and a natural 9. So is it athletics or strength?
I just did straight strength.
Hang on, let me go back to my first page. I think that makes it a 13. Isn't great.
You have
Yeah,
proficiency
+4.
in strength check. No,
I
no,
have
you
proficiency of strength saving throws. If we were doing
Yeah.
athletics, it would be better. But we do not.
Yeah. You get down and you deadlift this cart up, and as you do, some of the vines that you didn't clear kind of snap around the side. Some of the grown, slightly too tall grass kind of bends out of the way, and you can see the stone just kind of wobbles a little bit on an edge. So you lift it a little bit higher, and then it wobbles that little bit more, and it's right on that like precarious tilting roll.
I'm just gonna be lifting it at that point. Just be like,
And then just
Oriana!
releases and rolls and falls down and bounces into the smaller wagon, which promptly sinks another inch and a half into the soil.
Oriana would have helped, but she saw a squirrel with like a gunky eye, and she was like, I have a weird feeling that I should help that right now. I've never cared about small animals before, but I am distracted. Sorry,
I
I
thought
probably
Dee was-
should have.
no,
I
no,
should
no,
have
no.
helped.
I thought Dee was
like
gonna
in
be like
character should have helped.
it sits right at the top, and that's why I was like, I'll yell out to Oriana, this will help. But then you continued, so
Yeah. It was on the edge. It was right there.
you're gonna make me carry that too, aren't you?
I
You are the
mean,
strongest of us.
Should just sigh, and then get the rope for the thing, like wrap it around her hand and put it over her shoulder and prepare to head out. But yeah, I think other than that, we're ready to go, right?
Good to go.
Mm.
I'm like the floor is kind of soft. Do I have a spell that can like bop it down? Not really, no.
All you
Flop
magic users out here just trying to fight the elements. We just gotta power through it, guys.
Natalie's like, break the cart, and the spellcasters are like, fix the cart. Satine is like, what the fuck?
Thank you for all your help, Satine. We will be removing this for you. No longer a headache.
Literally.
Mm.
Before we leave, because she was acting a little bit skittish before, I don't know if any of us checked on her mental health. We know that she's not like massively injured other than her arm. Has she been like very affected by the rock? Like, is she feeling?
Asking her about that.
Is she? How is she?
that's how. She's
Not
doing
good.
great.
Hiccups loudly. It kind of echoes among the trees. A single crow just
Like, I don't really want to leave her here if she's suffering the kind of ill effects that that other woman was. I can't remember her name.
We left
Uh,
her. She was fine. We presume.
She was
Yeah.
getting better, but like, I don't want Satine to be completely nuts living in a graveyard. Like,
Maybe.
presumably she would
completely
also
nuts is
get
the best
better.
place for her to be.
That's true.
Yeah. Can we
So-
just ask her if she's okay there? Like, can we just ask her if she's noticed how any effects from the rock?
See if
Sure,
she's
what do
been
you
writing
say to her?
batshit insane stuff in her journal.
Would Oriana ask her? Because otherwise, I was thinking of Aery.
Let's go with Oriana tries to like hello. Goodbye. Oriana will like start asking but fumble it a little bit, but be like, have you been feeling wrong the past few days? Like this rock is the only thing in existence that means anything to you.
You want to kiss it?
No. I haven't been sleeping very well, but I'm pretty stressed out by this whole situation. I'm glad you're taking it. But no, I'm not obsessed with the rock. You told me how it twists and changes things, so I've kind of been keeping my distance. I come in and I check on it once a day, and that's it.
That's very smart of you. Good to hear. You don't want to like kiss it even a little bit though? Like not at all?
I do not. No.
Okay, well that's good too.
Thank you, though.
You're doing better than the other lady.
Did she kiss it?
I don't know if she did, but she clearly really wanted to. Which is weird.
No. Don't want to kiss it.
Okay, good. Well, we're taking it now, so that's your last chance. In case you actually.
Please don't.
I mean, I could now if it
No.
would make you feel better.
No.
No, and it will also make you feel really sick, I think, if you could even near it.
Mm.
Just as a precaution, if your sleep schedule doesn't fix itself within the next week, we're staying at, she's gonna write down like the address here, at least temporarily, a little longer. Just let us know.
Oh, the Golden Tankard with Ascat.
Mhm.
Yes, I know the place.
Cool guy.
Eminence is going to be looking at Oriana like she has grown a second head.
I don't want
What
to be
is
responsible
happening?
for possessed people running around the world. Not this kind of possessed people.
That's more problems later. Honestly, I'm just glad that you're taking it away and then I don't have to. It's already stressful enough hiding one secret part of the forest. Worrying about two is twice the trouble.
Oh yeah, sorry for telling everyone that you told us about that. We weren't supposed to do it, but we did.
Wait, what?
Well,
Aery!
Romeo's obviously here, so clearly he knows about it. And we knew about it, so it makes sense that... Yeah, whatever. Good, I said anything.
We didn't tell everyone about
Yeah, not
it.
everyone, but just like
Yeah.
the people who really matter, I suppose.
I'm just gonna assume that you were smart and safe with this information.
Yes.
Sure, we
The
usually
only-
are smart and safe with the information.
Aery, you make it sound very much like a lie. The only people we told are people that needed to know.
Okay.
That is true.
As long as I can continue to be the caretaker here and inter those who need to be interred.
I'm gonna turn
mean,
to
that's
El
not up to us,
Romeo as she says that and look to El Romeo and just be like, this Satine's work, that is definitely something that we can get behind. We support that decision.
Why are you telling me this? I don't have any policy making power.
Because of the whole Shazarash thing, how he was all like, la 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 la, we can't condone this thing, and then we said we couldn't condone when he took him on. I was trying to make it funny. It's fine. The moment's passed.
She's taking the piss out of you because you make shit decisions.
He just kind of laughs nervously. Good one. Shall we get the horses here and tie the wagon to the horses? So you don't have to cut the whole thing?
I was really looking forward to Natalie just pulling it the whole way home because she seemed to like that idea.
I don't think it'll do as well on the back of a horse somehow either. Don't think I'll get much of an option.
Well, if you just tie it perhaps to the saddle.
It's only a water cart. Might not be great. Let's
Maybe
see
we
how it
should
goes
just
getting
get the
out of here,
horses
at
and
least.
and see.
If you get tired or start feeling insane, we will attach it to a horse.
How do you classify one feeling insane?
If you feel like you wish to kiss the rock.
As they say, the definition of insanity is if you perform the same action and expect a different outcome.
Really?
Oh, so I've heard.
Natalie.
Anyways.
Thinking about all the times that you would just smash is the only action.
But different outcome. This time rock go where want.
But yeah,
Well,
I'll
Natalie's
just
tell.
wheel it out. I know that El Romeo and I left our horses by the front, and I don't really trust it on the kind of uneven surface to really do much anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Great. In that case, if you're going to start dragging it, go ahead and make an athletics check for me.
Please be nice to me. I don't have enough rage charges to keep doing this.
If
Fuck!
it looks,
Oh no.
That's a
If
natural
it-
4, which is
oh
a
God.
12.
12 is still pretty good. You struggle. Because the ground is still like all just strangely soft. You find you're less again rolling the wagon more than you're like dragging it on wheeled rails. And underneath the dirt there are like twigs and branches and roots that you just kind of like stop and have to like muscle over to get the wagon clear just because you're not getting any grip on the wheels. I would say it probably takes you about 20 minutes or so to get clear of the Forest of Statues back to the main path. And from what you remember, it's probably still maybe another 10 or 15 minutes at this rate before you get to like solid packed ground.
As well, before we leave the Forest of Statues, I just want to kind of have a look in the general direction of the statue of the orc that I knew. I looked for his name, but I couldn't find it.
I've got it written down somewhere. Yeah.
Starts with a J, I think. I can't quite remember. I know as soon as I hear it, I'll be like, oh, it's that one. But I can't remember the name.
I will find it eventually. It's on one of these pages. One of these days, I'm just going to have a single, like, this is a page of characters instead of having it hideously spread across different notebooks.
But yeah, I don't want to do anything special. I just wanted to check that his thing was still there and just kind of give like a look and kind of like a solitary nod towards it without being super weird about it.
Okay. Yeah, you remember where he is, and as you glance over, you see that his right arm, has been cracked and broken off. So he's still sort of got just like this aggressive, mean posture, one arm like out, the other just kind of ends at the bicep.
Take the arm.
No, nothing like that. I think I don't know. If anyone was looking at her, I think she'd look very sad in a way, but like not in a like really sad kind of way. In like a that's unfortunate kind of way, but would continue.
It was Jugon.
Jugon. Started with a J?
It was Zuhgan. Jugon.
We all sound.
Maybe not the hard J.
The J kind of J.
Jugon.
We all saw Natalie's reaction to the statue the first time, right? We were watching that. When you,
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess like as Natalie moves past it, I'm assuming continuing to drag the little wagon, Eminence will come up and walk alongside her. Like, well, if I've got my horse back, I guess I'll come up and like ride alongside her, talking down to her like, from her, literally talking to her from her high horse. Are you all right?
I'm fine. Just he was my teacher.
Right. I did want to ask the last time, but I didn't want to assume, like, just because he's an orc that you knew. Your teacher.
It was just Natalie's poorly. She's like, yep. Teacher. Like always pushing me to be better and always pushing me to be probably more than I ever could be. He drove me mad, but I respected him.
Huh. Well, I mean, look at you now. Look how strong you are. She just kind of like gesture to the wagon.
And I'm just like struggling.
As it gets caught on like a root underneath, just like.
I'm trying so hard to be supportive. I just don't know how.
Like when you're like trying to get dressed and you get like tied up and you're just like, oh, it's so infuriating.
I've only been doing this my entire life.
I know exactly what he would say in this moment. He would be saying that I needed to do more, I needed to be stronger, and I needed to be better. I will not let
Like
him
what?
see me suffer as I'm actually struggling.
I mean, it's interesting because I've heard you say that about yourself quite often.
Are you ever good enough?
And Eminence just kind of thinks about her father and quietly rides alongside Natalie without answering that question.
I'd like to think at one point, like, Natalie pulls so hard that she, like, drops the rope and just, like, stands there for a moment and she's just like, picks it up again and keeps going.
Can I quietly pull out my little doll that Natalie made for me and whisper to it and ask my unseen servant to grab the rope that's dangling in front of her and give her a hand?
Absolutely. Are you trying to do this covertly?
Yes.
Cool. What is your stealth modifier?
Excellent question. +2.
+2. Okay. Aery and Oriana, the two of you see Eminence whispering to this doll. Natalie's distracted by the labor, but a moment later, you can see the rope grow just a little bit more taut behind Natalie, and it does get a little bit easier. Not significantly, but maybe it's just like in your head. Maybe like talking about it. It's not a resolution, but it does. Does it feel better to talk about at least?
Yeah, it's kind of like you got over the hard bit and now you've said something and it's like giving you that new renewed vigor to keep going.
Yeah. And the rope is a little easier.
Aery will just like lean over to Oriana and be like, maybe the crazy already got to Eminence.
I think it's always been there a little. Unfortunately, it's genetic.
Yeah, well,
You met
you
my
were
father.
really acting like you cared about that lady earlier, so maybe it got to you too.
I don't care about her. I care about the consequences of our actions, and we put that rock there.
Yeah, but why do you care what happens to her? Because you care, Oriana?
I care about the overarching consequences of our actions, not individual people. But if it starts something there, it will start something with our employers.
Whatever. I stopped listening after you said the words I care, so.
I said I don't care.
No, you said I care about blah 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 blah, but it doesn't matter. The only words that matter to me are I care. I know about you.
Say big sigh again because, like I said, my microphone doesn't always pick it up, but she big sighs.
and it's about 10 or 15 minutes until finally the wagon kind of pulls free from the softer earth. Your horses have a much easier time finding purchase and footing, and it's like pulling free from a swamp, or like walking knee high at the beach for 5 minutes and then walking back on like regular sand. And you're like, oh god, this is so much easier. You find purchase once again and find yourself able to pull the cart on its wheels instead of having to drag it forward. So you reckon you could probably hitch it to a horse pretty easily.
Yeah, then I guess I'll do that. And we continue onward.
Awesome. You continue onward. You go heading back north up along the path. Those of you with dark vision do call out. I believe all of you have dark vision.
Just don't
Yeah. El Romeo is on his wagon, just like. But you dodge some of the new rifts in the ground where the path has been broken asunder, and it does take you a little bit longer. Normally, heading back down the path took maybe 30, 45 minutes. With the wagon in tow in the dark, with some of the branches and trees broken and the big sort of tears in the ground, it probably takes you about another hour and a half before you're clear of the deep wood and start to approach the southern end of Valater. So it's getting pretty late at night. It's probably about 11 o'clock at night as you reach the city outskirts.
We may need to camp outside. I've just realized.
I don't think we should be bringing this rock into the city at all.
Yeah, I think because I'm just going up to double check, but I'm pretty sure the drop off was in the morning. And so if we want to get some rest, we should probably rest outside of the city and then go and do go around the city and do that again tomorrow. I'm just double checking. Yes. Well, theoretically morning. It could be any time during Thursday.
No, you're right, but I don't want to camp. So I'm going to complain about it.
I can try and make something more comfortable for you, perhaps.
As comfortable as a bed in an inn?
Look, hey, trust me, alright? I've lived in the woods plenty. I'll try and make something comfy.
Okay, you can try, but I'll probably still complain about it.
I'm gonna have Natalie set up her camp as we bitch at her the whole time after she just dragged that thing all the way here.
Poor Natalie.
God.
Try it.
Just following her around, lying on the floor and getting still not comfortable.
I would like to maybe even if it's a survival check or something, I just want to try and make a really well supported bed space for the bedroll.
Sure.
I don't know why I volunteered for this, but it's okay.
I'll let you do nature or survival.
Not nature. Oh my god, my dice! I'm never using metal dice again. It's a natural 2, so that's only an 8.
It's the ground is broken and jagged outside of the city proper. The closest buildings on the outskirts of the city have suffered the largest brunt of damage, so there are broken chips of wood dust still sort of in the air. You're actually pretty fortunate that you have thick and hardy boots, stout boots, just by the volume of splinters that are on the ground. It's not pleasant.
I'm gonna pin it down to me being tired. She'll kind of put it together and try to be helpful, and then just be like,
yeah.
really
You
sorry,
You find like this like little recession. You're like, oh, this will be fine. You start like clearing away some of the sawdust and chips of wood, and you just immediately get a splinter.
Ow. I'm just like, it's fine. It's just like, ugh.
But you do find a small little nook off the side of the road. This shallow recession where you can fit the 5 of you. To which El Romior says, well, I think I am going to go back into the city and see what else needs to be attended to. I can relay the reports of what happened to Silence and the King and catch up on a status report as well.
Also, you get to go back into the city, fine. Just abandon us. Whatever.
To do more work.
Comfortably.
And as you say this, you look at El Romior, who, again, he's not exactly the outdoorsy type. He's just covered in like dust and soot and soil, and his hair is like just a little bit askew. And yeah, comfortably. Is there anything, you know, I'll see if I can send some people to perhaps bring some more bedrolls or blankets or something. Just to try and make things a bit more comfortable.
Yeah, Aery's like lying down in the middle of the depression, like, Natalie, I love you, but this fucking sucks.
Also, the phrase "Aery lying down in the middle of the depression" is like such a mood. But
yeah,
yes,
current mood.
Well, it has been exciting. I assume I will see you tomorrow.
Assuming nothing comes out and eats us, probably.
Well, don't get eaten.
We'll try.
And he kind of smiles at that and continues down the path before disappearing in the distance.
well, if we're gonna take a long rest, maybe. So we're outside of the city. Is there a place where we can store the rock that's not super close to us, but it's not also like visible from somewhere? If that makes sense, like it's like a little like either against a tree or something that's like.
Yeah, so kind of at the edge of the city is a really, really rough spot because just south of the city, it's largely just open fields and plains. All of the trees have been deliberately cleared. And the buildings at the edge of the city are not in great shape after the earthquake. Further south, like off of the paths and trails, are small homesteads and farmsteads in like that plains between the town and the forest. But there's not like an outhouse or anything or like a small shack that you can sort of roll it into. It's kind of just all open terrain.
Yeah, I was more just looking for like a spot that's not going to be too weird, even if we're like kind of resting against a wall kind of thing. Like,
Yeah, there is like a little segment of wall about 20 feet down of the building at the southernmost edge that the wall isn't doing well, but this particular structure had some stronger foundation. There's also like some tarp next to it, some large cloth tarp. So you reckon you could probably chuck a tarp over it and roll it up next to the wall, so it looks like something.
that's all we really need. I'm sure that we'll be taking watch anyway, so we'll be able to watch it anyhow. It's more just the actual physically keeping it away from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just dump it out on the road and see what happens.
Yeah. See what happens.
Maybe it'll become someone else's problem.
If only. But yeah, I guess.
It's only our problem for another 24 hours.
You say that, but if we're planning out who's going to take watch, Eminence is feeling pretty fine after having a nap earlier, so she's happy to take first if nobody else wants to.
Go for it.
Also, that bed really does not look comfortable. I'm happy to just sit here.
Wait for the extra blankets to show up.
Natalie's just like pouting. Like
Tried so hard and got so far.
in the end, I can't even make a fucking bed.
So that's my room.
Yeah, I'll settle up somewhere that I can lean against and settle in for a watch.
Awesome. Is
Sleep
there
with
I'll-
anything?
I was just gonna say I'll take second watch.
Okay.
I figure we should
Struggle of
arrange
discourse.
all of this.
Yeah,
She was just going to wake you up regardless.
Awesome. Yeah. About 45 minutes pass before a runner comes out, sort of this lanky teenage boy. And you can see he's got like this really big like burlap sack over his shoulder. And as he gets there, he looks at the four of you. You for kind of leans in. Do you have a cart?
No.
I must have missed him. And then turns around and starts quickly jogging back up the path.
Wait.
Kind of stops. What?
I think we are the people you were sent here to bring some blankets and things.
Yes. Do you
Yeah,
have?
that's us.
But you don't have a cart. It was the four people with the cart.
We lost the cart. It's fine, but it's us. Elbermio sent you, right?
It's not my problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
And comes over and takes the burlap sack and kind of drops it in front of you.
Thank you. That
Gives
will
like
be
a
all.
half-hearted. Just dismissing him. Yeah, gives like a half-hearted salute and then turns and starts jogging back up the street.
Cool. What did he bring us?
So you open up the burlap sack. Inside you see down pillows. You see relatively like thick comforters. You see a couple of sort of heavy, like that super thick knit cotton blankets for like bedding and padding. Just relatively comfortable bedding for camping gear. You get the sense that this was probably pulled from like the supply closet in the guest bedrooms of the keep, but seems like it's a significant step up over what you currently have, which is like a blanket and a roll.
Cool. I'll try to quietly lay out the bedding so that people can move over to that when they wake up. And I'll drape blankets over Natalie and Aery.
Mhm.
And then sit back down.
Screw Oriana.
Wow. I was nice to someone today.
Yeah, I know, it really freaked me out.
And now you're being punished for it. That's what you get for
Absolutely.
being nice to people.
Never
Also,
be
I'd
nice
like to
anyone
imagine
again.
that she has, like, at some point in their past, woken Ori up from a deep sleep and almost gotten stabbed. So she just doesn't go near her.
This is probably a good assumption.
Yeah. The hour passes. The remaining hour passes without incident, and your watch comes to a close.
Cool. Now I need to wake Oriana and just invalidate everything I just said. Poke it with my foot. Sorry.
When did everybody else get blankets?
Didn't want to disturb you.
Fair enough. Nothing weird happened.
No, we just got the blankets. There's nice beds now too.
Wait, beds arrived? Did everybody get woken up to get beds? Because I feel
No,
like we
just
should wake
bedding.
up Aery to, like, I don't think we can, we probably could pick Aery up and put him on a bed.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to let them sleep a little, but maybe we should.
I think they'll sleep much more comfortably. Fuck. Yeah. We've traveled with Aery for a while. How deeply does he sleep? Like,
He's an
this
elf.
is probably
He's technically not
Doesn't
sleeping at all.
sleep.
yeah. And like, well, yeah, it's meditation, but like,
I think
is it
that's
like
something
a
that-
full?
I think that's something that you've made clear about Aery, is that Aery can meditate, but chooses to sleep.
Oh, does he sleep? I thought that he just pretends to sleep.
I feel like we've had this exact discussion before, and you have another character who just chooses to sleep.
I have,
and
yeah.
Aery
I
meditates.
had another character who actually would sleep. It was an elf, but I think Aery just pretends to be asleep.
I was under the impression that Aery was also asleep, which like I kind of feel like if Aery noticed that blankets had arrived, blankets and mattress had arrived, he would have done some kind of real dramatic, like, "Oh, I am sleepwalking over there."
Yeah.
Just and then roll onto one.
Yeah.
But we'll nudge him and be like, mattresses.
Do they wear mattresses? I thought it was just blankets.
It's just thick bedding. It's just like that thick cotton that's like this.
Still better than the floor.
Yeah. I'll just roll himself up into a burrito.
Meditation burrito.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna
the
try that.
best kind.
I'm gonna plop one of the bedrolly things down next to Natalie. But I feel like she probably cares less if she's actually woken up for it. She's getting next watch anyway. She'll get a single part of this rest on her.
How
I
deep
think
does
it's
Natalie
it's
sleep?
Natalie. What, sorry?
I have decided because nobody volunteered.
How deep does Natalie sleep?
I would imagine not
After-
much at all. With danger sense and
Really?
whatever, like, I would imagine not very deeply at all.
After getting knocked out and all of the excitement
Oh.
of the day?
I thought, yeah, I get what you mean. She would be exhausted today, particularly.
Okay. Yeah.
Typically, not a hugely deep sleeper.
Mhm.
Typically. But today, maybe very much so.
Yeah. Awesome. In that case, as the bedding kind of plops down next to you, I imagine Natalie just kind of and then just like stays out.
Some point during their watch, just like ends up like cuddling the blankets rather than using them.
Yeah. Oriana, make
Hmm?
a perception check for me, please.
Oop, I just rolled that all the way off the desk.
Oh,
New
Emily,
dice.
are you going to sleep?
Oh yeah, I've gone to bed.
New dice, who dis?
New dice didn't do fantastic well for me. It's an 11 plus 3.
New dis, who dice? So
Yeah.
14. Yeah. Your watch passes without incident.
That's
Sorry,
good.
I said that weird.
It's better than you think your watch passes without incident.
It
So I will
appears that your watch has passed without incident.
wake up Natalie next, because like I said, nobody volunteered for after second shift, so I have decided I'll wake her up.
Rude.
Well,
I think you decided on Natalie.
Aery almost died.
When Aery
Oh,
only
Oh,
also
needs
sorry.
half,
I
so
was
Natalie.
perfectly healthy. Yeah. Had a great time. Wonderful
Look.
time.
On a
Really feeling Natalie this
hierarchy.
session?
In the hierarchy of things, you didn't roll any death saves.
Yes, I did.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't have a memory. I'm sorry. I just remember Aery with the death save. I don't remember Natalie with the death save.
Oh,
Look,
God,
okay,
I love
fine.
Natalie.
Fine.
Oh, Natalie.
I probably
know
would have
why
been
she puts
slightly
up with us.
nicer if I would have been slightly nicer if I'd remembered that you also almost died. I thought you just got hit a bunch.
I also had to use my relentless endurance, which is like brink of death. Lost
remember
86
that.
hit points. You know, just casually. Anyway, it's fine. She'll wake up and she's got like her hair's like half up on one side and she's like, what?
Watch time. Nothing happened. Also, there's a mattress there. Well,
Oh,
bedroll.
I didn't even notice. Yeah. Alive, awake.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go watch now. Bye.
And I will go back to sleep.
In my head canon, Natalie's like, I'm gonna take watch. Just immediately falling back to sleep.
I would
Go
imagine
and make
she'd take watch pretty seriously, but
yeah. Go ahead and make a perception check for me, please.
it's the first time they rolled nicely to me today. That is 16 plus 6, so 22.
22. Yeah, so your watch is like 3 to 5 a.m. basically. Clouds pass over some of the stars up above. Every now and again, you can see smaller animals fly by, like bats or nocturnal birds. But the city is silent, and your watch appears to pass without incident.
Just looking at Aery, who like obviously isn't breathing as deeply as they would be if they were sleeping. And as like the watches come to an end, I'm just gonna get up and I'm just gonna very gently bend down beside him and just pretend like I'm waking him up from his sleep, like, Aery, it's time to wake up now.
What?
It's time for your watch.
Okay. And he'll just sit up in his like burrito and like shuffle over to the edge of camp.
But yeah, they should just roll up.
Burrito just rolls sideways across the camp.
Yeah, and just like takes the watch sideways.
Yeah, it is a little bit chilly now that it is dark and morning. The sun has been gone for a little bit. Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
Oh, I don't have my roll d20 window open. Six plus 7, 13.
13. Yeah, your shift is a little bit later. Despite being sideways, you do still see most of the sky, and you can slowly see it go from that pitch black to the dark purple and blue that slowly sort of lights up with color until it starts to get that orange reddish, until you get that like sort of pale blue dawn light as your watch passes without incident. And morning rolls around. Everyone completes a long rest, and it's not too long after daybreak that people start to appear on this end of the city. You do not get people coming from the south, coming from the farms and homesteads further south of Valater. You get the sense that most of the people have been evacuated into the city, away from the epicenter of the earthquake. But pretty early in the morning, work crews come by to survey the damage and start looking at repairing individual buildings and properties, clearing the roadway, and sort of evaluating what needs to be done to bring the city back to a livable state. So, as it comes time to wake the rest of the party, you have sort of a rough sense of privacy. The closest people are probably about 50 or 60 feet away as they're sort of surveying this building. But the morning is yours.
So why are we giving this rock to the people?
North of Valater.
And
Don't know
we
where
are.
that is, but we're south currently. I know. Let's walk around. Hopefully they're already there.
Okay.
So I guess we untarp the rock.
Yeah. And it's gone.
I'm just gonna put the tarp back. I'm just gonna step back.
Don't tell anyone.
I'm just gonna go and roll back up on my bed and just be like, the rock's fucking gone.
It's fucking what?
It's fucking gone.
What do you mean? Is that like, is this your idea of a joke, or does it mean something else, or what do you mean?
Aery, I don't joke. I'm tired, but I don't joke. The rock is gone. You can go check it yourselves if you want.
I am going to go check it myself.
Yeah, me too.
The wagon sort of propped up against the wall has kind of leaned a little bit. And as you pull the tarp away, you can see that sort of like wedged under the wheel as if it had like rolled sideways out of the cart is the rock.
Natalie!
So
It's
stressed.
gone. I don't know what you want to you want me to tell you. It's not there.
It's there. It's
not
just on the
there.
feet.
I swear, if I need to point this out, I'm gonna get up and go, and I'll go over and rush over there.
You still have like your
Aery
blanket.
just pointing at the rock on the floor.
I imagine all three of us are in various states of just there. It's right fucking there.
As I get over there and have it abruptly pointed out, I'll just be like,
It's you can see how you missed it because you like pulled the
Yeah.
tarp from one side and not the other side. So it's like, eh.
let's get rid of this thing. I don't want it anymore.
One of us has
Did
to.
we ever?
Ugh!
I'll pick it up. Let's risk some fucking.
I'll
We-
help
Yeah.
Aery
Pick it
with
up.
that.
Aery will.
Yeah.
Should we try to mage hand it first?
I think we tried that and it was too heavy. That's why I was just skipping the fuckery step. Or am I misremembering that?
No, you just rolled really bad. I don't know
Did
what
I?
that means. It just feels
Yeah.
Make
right.
a Constitution saving throw for me.
Too late. I have already decided that it didn't work and I have to pick it up. What is my constitution plus 2? 18!
Wow. You're just you pick up the rock and immediately it's like your entire consciousness is just dunked in cold water. There's like a brief shock of like as you just inhale and then you're like this fucking rock and you push through and squat, lift with the legs, pick it up, boom, drop it down on the wagon. And your fingers are like a little tingly, like you stood up just a little too quick and you've got like just a little bit of haziness around the edge of your vision, but you are unaffected.
Oh damn.
That wasn't my new dice, by the way. I decided that I didn't like them, so I used my old ones.
Yeah, when Aery says "oh damn," Eminence's face is saying "oh damn."
Can we go now?
Let's...
Sure. Should
So
just
where are you
dejectedly
going?
just like wrap it. Can we go around the city?
Sure.
I'm assuming rather than going through the middle of it, let's go around the city.
Sure, yeah. So there isn't like a footpath directly outside. Trying to. Yeah, there isn't really like a footpath directly outside of the city. There are sort of low wooden, like palisades, basically. And you get the sense that that's kind of deliberately kept to not be easily approachable. You reckon you could probably go in like a block and then go around pretty easily, because then you're still sort of at the less populated edges of the city, and that might be the easiest way. Alternatively, you could just take the cart back into like the grass and the bumpy terrain to go around the city.
I mean, we can always chuck a cloak over it. What do we think? We're not in a rush to get anywhere, though, right?
Well, they're there to meet us early and we don't get there. Do you think they'll leave?
Surely not. We
I
came
think
all
they-
this way.
Yeah.
I don't think they specified a time. It would be pretty fucking rude if they left after we weren't there at a non-specified time.
They weren't here for
Yeah.
the pickup. I don't know what happened, so we left.
That would just be rude.
What is
Sounds
it, Australia
they're
Post?
expecting us to...
Except we
expecting
were
us
there
to
and they
do
left
this.
anay.
Yeah.
They
We
ring the
knocked on
doorbell.
the
You're
door.
like coming, and it's like it's too slow. Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye forever.
You weren't waiting at the door for me.
Yeah, it just says next Thursday.
Yeah.
So it doesn't say when. I don't think we're in a rush.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think
I'm
we
going to
should go
somewhat
around.
leave it up to Natalie since she's the one who's going to be dragging the thing.
Well, I think if we go through the middle of the city, there's a possibility that someone could touch it or whatever, and it could end up being weird. I think the safest thing is to just take the longer time and go around.
Totally.
I think. I reckon that sounds good.
Let's do it.
Everyone's happy with that?
Yep.
Perfect.
Awesome. So are you basically going in a block and going around, or are you like going outside of the palisade?
No,
fully
I reckon we
around?
go outside because I don't want to risk it. Like, you know, if someone was like running past and they hit it or something and then they get really weird, maybe something weird would happen. So, like, I'm assuming that maybe like with the palisade around and like with all the working stuff, maybe there's like a worker path, like a, not like an actual path, but just something that kind of people have like paths the way through on their way around.
Yeah. You get the sense that for the purpose of like defensive fortifications, it's generally not exactly encouraged for people to do that. But again, there's only so much they can do. So you do find sort of like a rough dirt path that kind of cuts through most of it that seems to be a little bit smoother than the terrain around it. But either way, you are able to follow this path and make your way around towards the north side of the city. Your tour does bring you. Do you go east or west side? Do you go to the left or right?
I would say, I don't know why, but I feel like we're going to the left. I don't have a reason for that.
Okay.
So,
So you go to the west side of the city? Sure.
yes.
Yeah. As you follow the path, you do get sort of like a tour of the outside of the city. You pass by a couple of homesteads that appear to have been abandoned, some smaller farms and fields. You also pass by some larger orchards. Orchards? Orchard?
Orchards?
Is that the word? Orchard? I don't
I can never remember which one's the flower and which one's the
Orchids are flowers.
bunch of trees.
Orchards are trees.
Orchards. Apple farms. You pass by a couple of apple farms. You also can see certain places where the wall has sort of broken and just been split apart by the ground tearing it apart. There are like these deep rifts just from the force of the earthquake. You don't see a lot of disaster out here outside of the damage that's been done to the ground. A couple of farm paddocks have opened up. Some animals are roaming a little bit too wildly and freely, and you do pass by a single old farmer who's just chasing after like a single sheep. Oh my gosh, what's his name? The video of the guy who's like chasing his dog.
Fenton!
Fenton! And the sheep is just like hauling ass. Yeah, so you do pass by Fenton. but
New side
it takes
quest.
yeah, bling, an exclamation mark appears above his head. Takes you about an hour to get around towards the north end of the city. And here you can see the damage is significantly less. The ground is much more flat and stable. The rifts are barely there at all. Here and there, you can still sort of see like the wave-like rifts of the damage that has been done, but it is much, much better looking than the south end of town. And as you start to come around towards the entrance, towards the north side of town, you see there is sort of like a merchant check gate. And maybe about 50 feet from that, off on the side of the road, you see what looks to be like a nice 4-horse drawn wagon. 6 wheels, very stable, large sort of covered roof over the top, sort of this little bench in the front of it. And you see a tabaxi, a wood elf, and a human are all uh, sort of leaning against the side of this wagon.
Sounds like the beginning of a joke. Like, do they all walk into a bar or?
They run a shop. I don't know. Oh.
Nice.
Good one.
Got 'em.
I don't
Running
know.
a business in this economy. That's the joke.
Yeah.
Okay, you saved it, yeah, because I was like, I'm not sure that business owners is a joke.
Yes, it is. I guess those are our friends.
They look.
Is there anything that we recognize on them that would make us think that they're part of the WEF?
Make a perception check.
I'm going to do that as well, if you don't mind.
Yeah, it's
For
the
a
same
Wednesday.
thing.
Natural one.
Oh, I have a -1 to perception.
Oh my god! I changed dice and I got a fucking 5.
Shit.
So that's 11.
I got a 10, so it's all
That
on
makes-
Ori.
My 12, the highest.
Oh my
Boy,
God.
it's a rough morning. Each of you are like, despite the fact that you've been walking in like the early morning summer sun for a little bit, you're still like, it's that bleary sort of foggy headedness. Maybe it's the stone, maybe it's just this whole fucking situation. Who knows? Nothing stands out to you as to whether or not these people are associated with the left.
Well, they have
Well,
to
they
know who
could
we
be
are,
anyone.
right? Like, otherwise, it's some kind of weird. Like, they have to know that they're coming to see us, right? So we
Yes,
wait till
perhaps
someone
we
approaches
just-
us.
Hang around nearby and they'll come over here.
Yes, if we all just stand here and stare at them, I'm sure they'll get the point.
From the other side of the
they'll
road,
leave.
you just don't cross.
I don't know. I think we would just make ourselves like visible,
Yeah.
but not like going anywhere. Because like if they
Yeah.
do happen to be the wrong people, we don't want to be like, hello.
The tabaxi sort of spots your procession first and kind of frowns and motions to the other two, and they share a couple of words before the tabaxi starts to approach.
Could be anyone, no idea.
We are Lights by the Lake. Our merchant group is interested in chocolate from Valater. Perhaps you four have a delivery for us?
Of chocolate?
Sort of looks a little confused. You can see the tabaxi has like these feathers kind of ornamented in through their fur, sort of in different places, these feathers across the neck. Looks back over and kind of yells, "Lights by the Lake does not remember the phrase." And the wood elf is just like already head in hands. The human is kind of like digging into his pocket and kind of pulls out like a little letter. We're here to pick up some chocolates.
Yep,
Oh,
that was
yes.
seamless.
Yes, we have a box of
Alright.
chocolates.
Yes, we have the chocolates that you
Box
see.
of chocolate. That's what that says. I can't.
But
It
but we don't have chocolates. What?
kind of folds the letter
but-
over.
Chocolates.
Swear. Eladir has terrible handwriting, I swear to God.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Random question. You said
please.
that the goblin in the statue's forest had feathers on them, and this
Yes.
tabaxi also has feathers on them.
Yes.
Are they a similar type of feather? Like, are they long, like kind of
No.
like hawk feather or something? Or
No. So looking at the tabaxi, the feathers are very large. Like the feathers are like this long and very, very like thick plumage. Actually taking a look at it, you see that the feathers are really, really well maintained for not being attached to a bird. Like very clearly a deliberate amount of effort goes into the feathers that this tabaxi has on his person.
I may be going complete conspiracy theory, but would that compare at all to Marcus's feathers?
Oh, I hadn't considered that. No.
No, okay.
I'll go and save
Natalie,
you that
this whole
there.
time's like, we don't have chocolates, just staring at these feathers like,
Well, yeah, just go ahead and bring your cart over here and we'll load the whole thing up, eh? And the tabaxi. Was the journey accommodating?
No.
No, it's been awful. And now it's your problem.
Yeah, have fun.
The Wood Elf, is there anything we should know?
Don't
Try
fall
not to
in love
touch
with the
it.
rock.
We have been warned to keep our distance and not rest near the stone.
Actually, I have a question about that. You've been warned. Have you dealt with any of these before, or the person who warned you, have they dealt with anything like this before?
We, and the Wood Elf kind of looks with like a knowing look, like we, the organization, are in ownership of a similar stone about the size of a fist. This was recovered many, many years ago, as far as I am aware. However, the properties of what you described of this, and kind of motions towards the tarp-covered cart, are too similar to ignore, given the properties of our prior stone.
Just this other stone, the one that you found years ago, was this the one that you found in the north? In Andapolis, specifically.
This was purchased in Andapolis, yes. The old stone.
Purchased.
From an antiquities dealer. Claimed to
Oh,
have raided
interesting.
it from a tomb in the spine.
Is the spine to the... No, that's the steps to the left, isn't it?
Steps to the left. Should be pikes.
Stone steps to the left, pikes to the right. I don't know. What the spine
You
is.
have heard you have heard pikes referred to as the spine before.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
sort of like instead of using the proper noun, like just calling it the spine.
So tomb in the spine. Shit.
So would I be correct in assuming that not you specifically, but someone has been studying these rocks for quite a number of years?
Study has been done on the original smaller rock and has stopped, has not been resumed for quite some time. I can imagine this new stone will bring a lot of interest.
Yes, I imagine it will.
Yeah, Eladir really loves taking a look at some weird stuff. He once sent us on this trip to the steppes because he heard there was what he called an oath stone that could bind people to do things. Turns out it was just a coaster.
Like for a drink?
Yeah,
Could the coaster bind things to people to do its will?
I mean, it kept drinks on the table really good.
Seems like a great use of time.
Well, I mean, that one wasn't, but that's one of several jobs we've done for him, hey.
Have any of the
Very
other
good.
jobs been so frivolous?
I mean, that one, it's an example to point out sort of a character developing thing for him, but maybe next time we're in the same town, we can talk about some of our stories. Old Lights by the Lake has a thing for griffins, and the Tabaxi kind of just gives like a yes.
God, I love Tabaxi. So, and I'll turn to the human. How would you find him in general as an employer, other than sending you on occasionally useless missions?
Oh yeah, he's pretty good. Hey, we do a lot of. The three of us are kind of more in acquisitions. We're not really involved in the larger scale projects that happen to befall the state of the world. Sort of like a reserve. By the way, big respect for everything you guys are doing. You look like you've been through a pretty rough fight over the past couple of days. Not saying you'll look bad, far from it. I'm saying you'll look great for getting this thing to us.
Kind of sounds like you're saying we look like shit. Even though you said that you're not saying that, it just makes me think that you were thinking that, and that's why you needed to say that you weren't.
I'm just saying, I've had my own fair share of sleeping out in the fields at night. Getting into messes you can't really prepare for. Hey,
No, we didn't have much of a chance to prepare for this. I mean, none of us had any idea this rock was here. It landed after we were sent into town.
oh yeah, so we heard. It's crazy to me to think that there are two more of these just kind of out there. It
Hmm.
makes me wonder if this one is big enough to do whatever you said. What could the others be doing? Hey.
Hopefully nothing. Hopefully the other ones are just
Oh,
nice
yeah.
rocks. Not evil rocks, like this one.
Well, fingers crossed.
This tomb you speak of, though, the one where the merchant went to, whereabouts was that? Like north, south, general location? Any idea?
Honestly, I've got no idea for these sorts of things. We picked it up in Andapolis. You could check the official log of our receipt back at the
Ugh,
Weft headquarters.
that
As
doesn't seem like fun.
I'm sure you can get some more information there. And if I didn't
Right.
know any better, I'd have to imagine that another team was sent out to investigate the tomb. Just in case there was a second one there. Hey.
Yeah, I just, you know, choosing our next options and all that.
Oh yeah. Well, maybe take a break. The world's not ending today.
What's a
Not ending today,
break?
right? And the elf kind of looks over and is like, "The world, I don't."
Yeah.
Are we allowed to
The
take a break?
the tabaxi kind of looks over and there are exceptional drinking locations in Valater. If that is your purview.
I mean, I feel like we've spent enough time here now. We probably
Oh
should
yeah,
be.
and maybe take care of some of your personal business if you've got anything like that. I'm just look. The four of you seem like you got a lot on your plate right now. so I'm just trying to be supportive in whatever way that I can. I've heard y'all are a new team, so just don't burn yourselves out right away. I know the salary is a good thing, and the bonus package is fantastic, especially with the sick leave coverage. But
Bonuses. Shit,
it's too
we don't
often.
get anything.
It's too often that I see these new teams come in and they just, they burn themselves out, or they get burned alive, or they try to take on a band of sort of evil wizards, or there was that kobold infestation. That one was real bad. That one was Trevor's Dungeon, I think that one was called. Yeah. Look, I'm just saying it's a marathon, not a sprint, okay?
Sure.
Is
Anyway,
it
should we
weird
get
that I
this
forgot we were
rock?
getting paid?
I have, yeah. You're doing this as you're doing. Are you doing this for? Are you not getting paid?
No, yeah, I just forgot about it. It's been so much fun.
I can't tell if you're messing with me or if you're just very easygoing. Hey.
Maybe you'll never know.
So, anyways.
Please
Shall we
take
get
this
this
rock away
rock?
from us.
On your
Oh, yeah.
task or something.
And as you kind of help wheel the cart over with your horses, you wheel it up behind the wagon as directed by the individuals. Oh, what am I even doing? I haven't even introduced myself. My name is Aelith Montague. That there's Lights by the Lake, and the Tabaxi just kind of and the wood elf, that over there, that's Darafil. She's been around for a while.
Well, it's lovely to meet you. I'm Natalie, and this is everyone. Don't be shy.
Are we introducing ourselves? Do you not know who we are? I assumed that you would.
I mean, we had descriptions, and we knew Team I.
Just out of curiosity, how are we described?
Well, we've got 2 tieflings, purple. We've got half elf, fey features, and half orc, tall axe. And it also says there's Dragonborn with you.
I'm not a half elf. And Bryn wasn't Dragonborn. These are shit descriptions.
Yeah, purple. I mean, there are so many other words.
He kind of like tilts his head sideways. I guess I could say like dragonkin if you look at it that way. He kind of holds out the paper, and you can see that it is unclear, like handwriting.
Bad handwriting, yeah.
Yeah.
It says dragon something, and they're just assuming she's not an actual dragon.
Yeah.
Do you think you can mention something about like our outfits or like hair?
well-
Like just spice it up a little bit.
I imagine
Yeah.
you change your clothes there, unless you're wearing the. He kind of takes a step back. Unless you're wearing the same outfit from.
I mean, we're kind of like cartoon characters in that way.
What are you talking about? I change my clothes all the time.
Prestidigitation.
Also, they
is a
could have
magical
at least
thing.
like put in a note about how good looking we all are.
I know, right?
He's just like,
These 4 strangers.
no
just like,
comment.
So
A
anyways,
good enough
let's get this onto the
description to
wagon.
get this done.
You see that from the back of the wagon, he sort of like latches down this little like pulley thing and lines over a rope, which he attaches to the tarp that's currently over the top of the stone, and then ties the rope to the tarp so that he goes around to the front of the wagon and pulls the rope, and it picks up the whole sort of tarp package and sort of swings it into the wagon without ever actually having to touch it. And inside of the wagon, you can see that there are a number of crates. One of them is currently open with like straw lining the inside, and Lights by the Lake kind of crawls into the back of the wagon and maneuvers it down, and then collectively they drop the stone into a crate, and then the top is placed back on the top, and it is stacked with the rest.
One of those definitely contains the Ark of the Covenant.
But this is a wagon that's maybe like 8 or 10 feet long. So in total, there's probably about half a dozen crates, and you could see that one of them is open and has like foodstuffs. So this is not just like exclusively acquisitions. They have like food and bedding and stuff like that.
Well, enjoy your problem.
Oh yeah, we're looking forward to it. Anyways, is there anything that we can do for you? I mean, you're the new team here, joining the organization. If you ever need to reach out to us, if you have any more of those paper birds, feel free to send them our way. You've got our names.
That's actually what I was going to ask about. Is there perhaps a method that's a little faster?
Oh yeah, if you've got sending, that'll do you.
Well, I can't help that. I just kind of like a look at Ori.
Alternately, if you've got enough money to fund a sort of make your own humming discs on like private channels, you can send one of the discs in to Elidir, then you can just kind of call him up whenever. I think he's got 4 or 5 for the different teams that are kind of out and about.
That would have been useful to have done earlier.
I feel like, yeah, maybe that's something that you should look into, investing to just give one to each team.
Oh no,
when you hire them.
Yeah, maybe
expensive
they
as heck.
didn't think that we were worth it because, like, they didn't know if we'd be shit or not.
Oh no, hey guys, look, humming discs are expensive. They're not easy things to come by. I'm saying this as like an aspirational goal, you know.
That we
Not
fund
making a
our own
comment.
stuff for our own work that they want us to do.
I'm not
Well,
trying to
maybe we
comment
can,
on your
like, claim it
capacity as
back
an
on tax.
organizational team. Honestly, it's a bit concerning that you're taking it as personal insult instead of an opportunity for growth. Are y'all all right here?
No, not really.
Is there something we want? Well, he kind of like just sits down on one of the wheels, and immediately the the wood elf is just like, I'm going around, and then just walks around the cart, leaving you, and is like, hey, I want you to know, guys, I'm here for you. If there's anything you want to talk about, just let me know.
I'm sad.
Why are you sad?
Our friends had to leave us.
Well, that's
And
terrible.
also, I had to sleep outside and it sucked.
Well, your work is about to be done here, and you're going to get the chance to take a shower. Think how good that's going to feel.
Yeah, pretty good.
And it wouldn't feel as good if you didn't have a little dirt to scrub off, you know. Sometimes you got to get dirty so you can get clean.
I like the sound of that, but in practice, no, I hate it.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of life, though, isn't it? I'm sorry about your friend. Is this the dragon kin?
Half dragon.
Half dragon. And he like looks at the paper again. I don't know what that word is, and like folds it back.
You should talk to him about his handwriting. It's not very useful if he sends you with instructions that you can't read.
It's one of those things where, you know, certain professions just attract people with bad handwriting. Hey,
Really, just like sort of like short course you can do to learn to write like a person. Maybe he needs an assistant to write his notes for him.
Now that's a good idea there. Hey, he always says he doesn't have enough time to take additional courses. Well,
you're welcome that I fixed your problem.
Oh, I mean, it was all of our problem. But absolutely, good job there. Look at you. After sleeping out in the stars, you got a mind sharp as a tack.
Yeah, I'm going to go take a shower. Have fun with the rock.
Absolutely. And hey, have a good day.
Before we go,
I might.
I just want to check, probably not with this guy, with one of the others.
Yeah.
While they're having this conversation, that there weren't any like extra messages given to us. It was literally just drop the rock off and do whatever we feel like next. Like they weren't asking for an answer for what thingy we were going to do to pick. Because I'm pretty sure it told us we were supposed to pick a thing.
What's your question?
Did he have any further messages for us? Are there any more letters or anything to be passed on, or is it just an exchange? It's not an exchange, a give.
Yes, this appears to be just like transactionary. Based on the letter that you received, you kind of understand that you were kind of given your next options as per the organization. However, from what you gather, it's pretty loosey-goosey if there's something else that you want to try to pursue. You just may receive more support for doing what they want to investigate rather than not.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just wanted to double check that we weren't missing something before we left, because these guys are fun, but, you know, I would also like to go have a shower. Aery finished his conversation.
His therapy session.
Have you finished talking about your emotions?
Plus, we also
No.
got to chat about what we want to do next. So
They also said,
Yeah.
like, there's sick leave and stuff. Maybe you should double check whether or not you get like a rebate on mental health services. Like, maybe you can go see an actual therapist instead of just this random guy who's picking up our rock.
Yeah, does sick leave include like mental health days?
You know, it's generally generally I'll say the mental health has been pretty squared away. At least for my department. If you're looking to get into something less stressful, acquisitions, I can tell you, it's pretty cozy. Not exactly very competitive, but
Yeah, I
Yeah,
want to
I
do
know.
something that's fun, but also doesn't make me want to cry at the end of every day. You have something like in between.
Well, what makes
You know,
you cry?
wait, no, it's fine. We don't need to go into this.
Okay.
Aery's just tired and needs some sleep.
Right. Well, I think I've got something for you here that I think will kind of goes into the back and cracks open one of the crates and reaches inside and pulls out what appears to be just like a small sack of, from the clinking, just coins.
Ooh.
Closes up the top and comes back over. I know this isn't like you've got your salary and all that sort of thing going on, but this is just on me. Maybe you can enjoy this and find something that'll make you happy. Take your mind off your friend there, hey.
Oh. Yeah, I feel better already, thanks.
Oh yeah, look at that there, hey.
Aery will take the coins. How much is in there?
About 50 gold.
Damn.
Damn, I should be sad
Someone
more.
gave me 50 gold every time I cried to make me shut up. Like,
My thing is, Aery's not even crying, he's just bitching.
Yeah, can Aery mention everyone?
He's just so annoying. Have these coins, shut the fuck up.
And I want you to be clear here. I'm not trying to give you money to make your problems go away. It's good to encourage independence and approaching and challenging all of the things that are making your life more difficult, but sometimes you just need a little help there, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it will be fine.
Okay, well, if you ever need anything, once again, just reach out to me.
What was your name again?
I am Aelith Montague. Pleasure
Nice to meet you.
to meet you. And Lights by the Lake kind of leans in and, if you ever see any griffins, please let me know.
I have a question about your relationship with griffins, and I don't want to make this too long, but like, do you like griffins or do you like to kill them?
Lights by the Lake just makes eye contact with you and
Is the answer to that just yes?
And Aelith, oh, don't mind him. He's just messing with you. He's he just likes him.
Yeah, but in what way? Like, I'm so curious.
I'm starting to giggle.
You have to
Um,
decide in which way this cat likes Griffin.
What
Tell us!
have I written down?
No judgment, I just want to know.
I don't think he's particularly, like into griffins, There's the whole anatomy thing going on there. But
I mean, the part cat kind of big cat.
maybe that's what's appealing. Whatever makes him happy.
You know what? You're right. I still wish I knew a definitive answer to that, but I will try. If I see you again, I will find out. I promise.
And Darafil is sitting, sort of again, just like this plain brown like robes, is already sitting on the bench just behind the horses, shoulders just completely slumped, like.
Also, your friend is depressed. Bye.
Fully checked out of the conversation. Okay, there. Well, have yourself a good afternoon, and or I guess a good morning. There, it's not even midday. Huh? Look at that. You got the whole day in front of you. Well, have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Then.
Bye.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice
And
to meet you too.
lights by the lake. Pleasure. Darafil's just like. And their little horse wagon slowly does like a wide loop as it reorients itself northward and starts to make its way up.
That was somewhat enlightening.
Well, that's
How
done.
weird. Like, I know we're weird, but they were weird.
They were.
I liked them though. They were weird.
Yeah.
I think I liked the cat.
The cat is the one you picked. The Griffin.
Yeah,
I just don't get it. Do they like griffins? Or do they like griffins? Or do they like to kill griffins? I just don't get it.
To wear their feathers, it's...
Maybe they're gifts from lovers. We don't know.
Is
That's a
that
lot of
something that you
lovers.
do, Aery?
Yeah, I'm wearing a lot of gifts from my lovers right now. No one ever asked.
Well, you've never mentioned it before.
Which one has the best story?
I'll tell you later.
I'll hold you to that.
Do you still want a shower? We should work out where we're gonna go next anyway.
We should go to the bathhouse. Assuming that all the baths aren't cracked and the water fell out.
Can we not just go back to our rooms?
Well, the inn has a bathhouse of sorts. It's just a bunch of baths in a room. Still counts, I guess.
I mean, that way we can also like change and relax.
We should probably check in with the fucking castle before we leave. I was like, what do you call that group? I'm like, I don't know.
Trying to think of the word
The
king.
government?
Well, no, because I was like, it's not technically the king, so it's like, you know.
I mean,
powers
technically it is the king.
Checking in with the royal entourage.
Technically. Look. Before we leave the city, we should definitely go back to see how much awful shit Shazarak has put everyone through in the past 24 hours.
Are you saying that part in character?
Oh yeah. But that's absolutely not my first priority.
Wait. So we're definitely leaving the city?
Well, why wouldn't we?
Hopefully.
Wait, you all want to leave?
What
Yeah,
else would we
Do
be
you want to
doing?
stay?
I mean, just... Mm. She's kind of gonna fiddle a bit with the necklace that she's wearing. I mean,
It's
I'm
okay,
just...
Emmy. You'll meet more insufferable tieflings along the way.
But I like this insufferable tiefling.
Maybe you'll like the others too.
Doesn't mean that you can't come back. It's just we did come here for a reason, and now we've done that, and we still need to help the king at some point, right?
You know,
I feel like need to is kind of... We could.
Yeah, don't really know if that's over our heads, hey.
yeah, and I mean, it's not like I didn't think we were gonna go eventually. I just didn't know we were gonna go, like, right now.
Well, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm sure we have the whole day to spend here.
Right. Okay.
Well, we don't need to go like tonight or like tomorrow, but like really soon would be great. I am sick of this place. And you can still talk to him. Maybe he'll give you one of those like disc things or something. It's not like he is poor.
Aery coming in with the priorities. Maybe.
I have presents, you get presents.
I mean, maybe we can do like a long distance sort of thing. It's not like I don't think he needs to talk that often.
How were you expecting this to work, Eminence?
Don't know. I wasn't expecting this to be like a thing. I mean, like, why would anyone want? I just didn't expect it, so it's fine.
What were you going to say? Why would anyone... What?
It's fine.
Emmy, you are very beautiful and very smart and very talented, and anyone would be lucky to have you. Even someone who doesn't like to talk to people, and you like to talk. It's weird. I don't understand, but...
And does that make it perfect? Who knows?
Maybe.
That was my microphone, sorry. I was adjusting it a little bit.
Distant rumbling.
Anyway, we should at least head back to the inn. I'm sure Askat's wondering why we didn't come back last night.
Okay, let's head back. I guess we start walking, unless anyone has any objections to
I'm
heading that
just
direction.
really confused why Eminence is sad. I'm waiting for giving her the opportunity to open up if she feels the need to.
Eminence, open up?
But you know that thing where, like, when you're trying to find something out from someone, you just stay really quiet and just look
Yeah.
at them and make
Wait
them
for you
feel
to
Incriminate
bad.
themselves.
Yeah.
Walking alongside Eminence, just like watching,
Yeah.
waiting for her to talk. Yeah, okay. Well, when we're probably halfway back, if it's kind of Natalie and her and the others are a slight distance away, she'll kind of just like very quietly say, I just like kind of really liked him.
Well, you can still like him.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we've been on one date. How often is a long distance thing? How often does that actually work?
Well, I don't know. I've never tried it, but if you like each other, what does it matter?
I mean, I guess we can try.
You shouldn't have to stop everything that you're doing because you found someone. But if your paths end up coming back to the same place, I don't see why that's a problem either. Plus, it's a world of magic, and you can talk to each other whenever you like. Somehow. Not really sure how, but you'll find a way.
You're kind of good at this,
At
like
what?
talking about feelings.
Must admit, you're the first one to ever say that to me.
I mean, I don't have much to compare it to.
You never talked about romance back home?
Oh God, no. Have you met my sister?
Uh,
I mean, she'd either mock me relentlessly or them relentlessly, or she'd think they're not good enough and kill them, or she'd think I'm not good enough and sabotage it somehow. I mean,
you're not someone to listen to your sister, though. Like, I would have imagined it was like nighttime escapades into. I don't know. Do you have like villages in? How does that work? Do you just like? Is there like little devils running around that are? I
they're
don't
like
know.
imps and stuff.
Oh, but yeah, that's not quite what I meant, though. Like, are there other tieflings or people worthy of your attention down there?
I mean, there are other important demons and beings, but we're kind of in that awkward level where we have seniority over them, so we can't get close to them, and nobody actually wants to get close to us because it's awkward, but they also don't necessarily respect us because we're significantly younger than almost all of them, and I mean, there's not that many people that we can just be friends with.
Sounds really lonely. My father always used to tell me that romance was one of the best things that you could. Going
Really?
out, finding someone that you cared about, and doing anything for them.
What about your mother?
She was the one that he did everything for, as far as she told me anyway. Used to tell me all of these things about all these different adventures he went on, and you deserve to find something like that too.
Thank you. Are they still together then, your parents?
Well, I've never met him, but I mean, I'm sure he's out there somewhere. Probably off, I don't know, fighting evil or good. I, I have to
It's
admit, he
okay
may
if
have
you
admitted
fight.
to maybe like killing a few devils or something in his time. I just didn't want to make that seem uncomfortable.
It's okay if he fights evil. There's a lot of different kinds of evil out there, and it's not like our kind don't sort of expect to be fought.
Well, I, I don't know. The whole concept of good and evil is a whole thing in its own, but
Oh my gosh, tell me about it. I mean, like I have no idea what I'm doing. Like ever.
does anyone know what they're doing?
You seem to. You have a moral code and you see something, and if that something deserves to get hit, it gets hit.
Well, I mean, I only determine that by if it's hitting something that I care about.
Well, then that's. I mean, I
Care about
suppose if anything tried to hit one of you, I'd try to hit it back, so.
exactly, and then there are innocent people and bystanders. They don't deserve to be hurt either. But also, the thing that's doing the hitting, it doesn't deserve to die just because it's scared or it's hurt or something like that. But sometimes things have to be done.
Being around people like you and just kind of out here in general, on this plane where you make it seem simple. Like, not that sounds bad. Not in a bad way. You make the choices seem simpler.
Well, they can be. The only thing you have to ask yourself is, what do you want to do?
I have no idea.
Well, then we work it out together. Because I want to help you. That's what I want to do. Then we can
I think
do
I want
that
to help
together.
you too.
Can do that together until you work out what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
Anyway, let's go see your boyfriend. You can
Oh,
go hang
God,
out for
yeah.
a bit or something, you know?
This is going to be difficult.
Difficult? I thought things were going well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just awkward. It's going to be awkward.
I mean, I'm sure he didn't expect you to stay around either. Like,
Wait, did you think that maybe he's only because he expected me to be leaving?
No.
Because now
None of
I'm
that, none of
thinking that.
No, just that you're allowed to. You're an adventurer. You're off doing things, getting things done.
Uh-huh.
Did he think that you were just gonna stop doing that? If he did, kind of rude.
Yeah, you know what? This is his fault.
Yeah.
Bad time to unmute. I thought the conversation was coming to an end. Sorry.
I think that's about it before we start going, yeah, you just
Yeah,
have to
fuck
do
him.
it.
I'm so much better than him. Yeah. That's the rest of the conversation home.
Awesome. You head back to the Golden Tankard, and for the damage of some of the buildings nearby, it fared reasonably well. Again, most of the windows are broken, though a lot of the glass has been cleared out of the street in this part of town, so you're not walking across that. The city is just abuzz with activity trying to recover after this earthquake. People are displaced, people are going to and fro. Merchants are selling their wares at significantly higher prices than normal, either in an effort to offload their goods to have gold immediately available, or to try and recover from the loss of perhaps some other goods over the course of the earthquake. Heading over towards the Golden Tankard, you enter in and you can see that your usual private dining room, the doors are like propped open, and on the inside it's just basically housing all of the broken furniture. You can get the sense that basically they've gone through all of the different rooms. You do see a couple of ceramic tubs in there as well, but like buckets and crates with broken glasses and plates, that sort of thing. But the building itself seems to be still standing. It doesn't appear to have suffered any significant damage. As you enter, Ascat is just thrilled to see you, and he was concerned that you didn't come back and he didn't hear anything, but he did trust that you could take care of yourselves. The breakfast is a bit more mundane today, a little bit more utilitarian, but he does have some fresh fruit cut up and prepared for you. Is there anything anyone would like to do now that you've arrived back at the Golden Tankard?
It does seem kind of cruel to be like, have some baths brought up to our room, when half of his inn has been earthquaked.
We can ask how the bathhouse is doing. He did have a bath room, the room full of baths.
Yeah. See if that was relatively undamaged. If not, I suppose we just ask for water in a jug and be really sad.
Yeah, you ask him.
Excuse me.
Right. Well, we lost a few of our tubs broke, but kept about 3/4, and well, the water heater's still good. I could set a fire. I mean, you're looking pretty dirty. I could get something prepared for you. Is that, would you like a bath? We could start something.
Yes, please.
It'll be about 30 minutes before enough water's ready. We didn't run the fires over the night.
Okay.
I'll see what we can do. And Aery pouts with his pocket full of 50 gold pity coins and waits patiently for his warm bath to be drawn. Yeah, baths are prepared. It does take a little bit of time for the sort of like large metal container to be heated up enough, but baths are prepared and you are able to take baths.
Bath.
Bath.
Take bath.
Take
Aery,
bath.
take bath.
Yeah, Emmy take bath.
If possible, I think all of us probably would want a bath.
Yep.
Nah, just give Ori a bucket and a rag.
Ori really doesn't want a bucket, but it sounded like maybe that was what we were gonna have to deal with. Bucket is still better than absolutely nothing.
Is it?
Yeah. If it's been like covered in grime and earthquake and probably a bit of kobold blood, and like yes, slightly better.
You take your baths, scrub, you get clean. Food is brought up to each of you.
I have a question about our room. Because the wall did get like busted out. Are we in the same room? Did they?
No, the wall is still there. It's just kind of like cracked. But the door kind of fits funky in the frame. And if I remember right, you had removed the door so that you could put a fucking towel or something. So you
I thought
could
we just
look
opened the door. Wasn't the door just open and we had a sheet over the doorway?
Yeah. So if you didn't remove the door and you just had it open, now it doesn't like fit in the frame.
Unlucky.
So it's kind of double rooms now. Congratulations.
Look on the room that doesn't have the fucked up wall.
As of yesterday. Like, it literally hasn't even been 24 hours, and Aery's already like, I want a better room.
Yeah.
So
Can we
can
get
we
like a free upgrade? Yeah.
Can I speak to your manager? I'm the owner.
I would imagine that we're mainly just chilling. Like, I don't imagine we're doing anything.
I mean, maybe we should discuss what we're planning to do next, because
Yeah,
we
we
do
should.
have some options.
Figure that out.
So, in terms of our options, we have 3. So, we have the disappearances near the pot, which is to the northeast of us currently. Well, eastern. Probably more northeast east. Or there are the 2 stones, one in Olsen and one at north of Frovale, with a clan of
Please, no
orcs.
more rocks. I
Well,
don't want to deal with any more of these stinking rocks.
Now, speaking of the rocks, honestly, did anyone else notice when we were talking to the group earlier? They knew about these things, right? They had one in their possession, apparently for years, that they've been studying. They send us here to investigate the king, and a rock just happens to be here.
Yeah, I don't think that's a coincidence.
It's very weird.
I just don't know why they would lie to us and then send us a message saying, hey, do you want to investigate rocks? Like, why not just say that the first time?
Is it
Maybe they're
that-
just testing us to see if we would, because we came here to investigate the king. We didn't have to go into the woods and see what it was about. Maybe they just wanted to see how far we would go.
That seems manipulative.
You know, they are like a secret organization that
organizations be like that.
It does seem exactly like something a shadowy organization would do.
yeah.
Also, yeah, they only know our competency from that one thing that we
Which didn't go
failed.
well,
Fucked
honestly.
up, really bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
not good.
So I wouldn't judge them too much for not trusting in us immediately.
Well, I'm not trusting them.
Yeah, I'm
Probably
certainly not
horrible.
pleased about it. I understand why, but I'm not pleased about it.
I mean, we are assuming, I think that we're right, but we don't know for certain if they knew about the rock or whatever, so...
In terms of our next steps, obviously assuming that we're continuing on the path that they've put for us, I think it would be a good idea to head to this clan of orcs north of Frevile.
Do you know anything of them?
I don't know that I know who they are. It's not like they had a name for them that they've given us, but could be near my old one, and that might help perhaps with negotiations regarding it. If something's gone bad over there, I really feel like I have a duty to check that out.
Okay, let's do it.
I mean, I'm not emotionally invested in any of our options, so...
The thing is, though, if we head to the pot on the way, because then we don't have to backtrack, we could deal with that first and then head up north.
The pot is where the other rock is.
No, the pot
No,
is
that's
the
the
disappearances.
disappearances. It would be nice to have a break from rocks.
Yeah, I would really like a break from that.
And disappearances could be fun.
Yeah. And
They
maybe it might
usually
have
are.
something to do with
We might
this-
find some bodies.
You can poke them with a stick.
Yeah,
I know that El Romeo and
bond
their
over it.
group.
I'd love Natalie just ignoring that.
She's just trying to have a serious conversation with talking stupid shit over the top of her.
Surprise, surprise. They wanted us to explore the mist that appeared just to the north of Valater. Maybe this has something to do with it.
Maybe?
And I would like to see what's going on with Olsen. That Marcus guy was pretty weird, and it's really weird that they were so brazen in their attempts to attack us in the city.
Oh, yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, the singing birdmen. Wow.
Yeah, I was so busy being angry at Shazarek.
As long as we
Speaking
can...
of, we should probably try to... Should we bother trying to give back that disc of his before we leave?
I don't think so.
I know you don't think so.
I think if we still run into him, maybe it is worth giving it back. I know that he's a prick, but...
I think we give it to one of the advisors and they can decide whether or not they want that leverage over him. I would prefer to not have anything to do with him ever again after we leave.
That's a good point, too.
Mhm.
There's no reason that we need to see him specifically. We can just hand it over to one of those representatives.
I mean, you guys... You didn't... That's like the only thing I think he actually cares about. And I hate to be the one who was like, hey, let's be nice to the guy that we all hate, but I mean,
Yeah.
so do we want to piss him off?
I think
Yes.
we made our point by keeping it for longer than he asked us to. On a technicality, we've done nothing wrong. But I do feel like we should give it back. Whether that's
I
we give
agree.
it to someone to hand over to him, I don't mind either way, but I do think that we probably should give it back.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if he is technically working for the castle now, so if we give it to one of them,
Yeah, we're just not wanting to deal with him directly, and I
true,
think that's pretty fair.
that would be preferable. It would be nice if the last time I ever saw him, I had punched him.
I just wish I'd killed him when I had the chance.
Yeah. Well, that's their problem now. Seeming to become a bit of a pattern for us. Not a bad one. Not everything needs to be our responsibility.
What do you mean, like finding problems and then giving them to someone else?
Pretty much.
Yeah. We are good at that.
We are the investigators. We are not the solvers. And that's okay.
Mel, are you on fire?
I just blew out a candle because it was getting pretty low to the bottom, and it did kind of just go.
You looked worried.
A lot of smoke all of a sudden.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting that to be. I was thinking it would be a lot more subtle than that. It is absolutely not our job to fix every problem that we find. I feel like we fixed an additional problem. Well, we passed on an additional problem that we found that wasn't our responsibility. So we're doing good, I suppose. Definitely don't need to fix everything.
Did we tell the left about all the other shit with the king? Or did we not do that?
I think the letter said that they were looking to... We can always send the more information with the next letter. Elodie
I just can't remember what we told them or not. We probably should have just said it to the people with the wagon.
I mean, I guess it's Chinese whispers or whatever at that point, right? Like, it's... You don't...
What's China?
I don't know. Have only heard the phrase before as like a colloquial thing. Not really sure. Wait, Natalie wouldn't know the word colloquial.
She says colloquial.
Yeah.
Like,
colloquial. Yeah.
she's like,
It's
I know
just a
this word
colloquial
kind
I
thing.
of.
heard someone say that.
Yeah. Maybe it's worth filling them in. The last time we sent them a message was at the tree. Once we
Yeah.
just...
We have so much more now.
Yeah.
You can send them a message.
The letter does specifically say that we were very vague, so I can't remember if that was something like the advisor said, please don't tell anyone, and we were like, well, I guess we'll decide which ones we like better as to which information we share later on. I'm pretty sure we're
I
intending to tell
remember
them.
correctly, you didn't know yet about the king. You
Maybe that
found
was
out
it.
when you came back, and you did the cure thing.
Oh,
Uh-oh. Oh,
That's
there's...
okay, sorry, my camera was just really pixelated and I was hoping off then on again would fix it.
Oh.
I think it did.
Seems to. Yeah, looks good.
I
So
still
yeah, I
can't see your
think
camera.
to the castle first, right? And then we work it out from there.
I think that's probably a good move.
But I think that maybe heading to the pot could be a good first move.
Well, yes, it is on our way, and it seems like the kind of thing that we actually all find interesting, so why not? Disappearances.
Something
Sounds
not
good.
rock related
yeah, better
No
than
more
rocks.
allowed.
until we get more rock. Then hopefully we can punch people with said rock.
We can't even pick the rocks up.
Yeah. Anyway, to the castle. Let them know what we're planning.
And give one of them the little disc. Do we have a preference on which one we think will make a better decision? And the better decision being holding it as blackmail, I suppose, over his head rather than just giving it back.
I mean, Silence was the one who made the deal with him, so kind of makes sense.
He
Yeah, your
seems to
boyfriend's a
hold more
fool.
authority over the rest. So I think that makes the most sense.
It's just out of curiosity, did we ever actually bother trying to, use it?
I remember that I wanted to, but I don't know. I think I was going to detect magic or something on it.
Someone did
Or someone
use
was.
it.
Because,
Did we?
Yeah, someone did use it, and they asked about it, and I think it was you, Aery,
I don't think I used it.
tried to use
I-
the
it-
disc.
I think you've talked about using it and how you would use it, but you never
And I
actually.
don't think we have yet.
Okay, well, let's do it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
oh,
'cause-
yeah, I wanted to use it to prank someone.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I thought
also-
you did.
I don't know if anybody else noticed, but this is probably a complete conspiracy theory, but Eladia they mentioned that he has a lot of these discs, right? And I just like they're a bit rare, aren't they? Like like what if I mean I don't trust these guys, so
Hmm.
just a thought.
Let's use a disc.
What's
see
the
what
worst
happens.
that could happen? And Oriana will take it off from around her neck and be like, who wants to do it?
You do it.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. See what happens. It's like improvise.
Can you activate the discs without saying anything? It's like making a phone call and waiting for somebody else to say something first.
It's heavy breathing down the line.
Basically, yeah.
You don't know.
You can try.
I'm just gonna attempt to activate the disc without saying anything specifically. What is happening?
We're getting a very clean camera.
I don't know.
She will be
No?
right back. That
Oh,
was a real subtle
I missed that message and literally just saw things flying towards the camera.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
thought
group
she was
chat
just
is
wiping
I'll
the
be right
camera.
back. Shh.
Amazing.
We saw nothing.
You hold the disc in front of you. Nothing seems to happen.
Can I do like an Arcana check on it and see if I can figure out what we need to do?
Sure.
This is an 11 plus 4, 15.
Sure. Yeah, based on the descriptions that you've heard and that you've seen, you basically have to use it like a walkie-talkie. You have to hold it close to your mouth and then speak into it. Again, it's sort of like a disc about this big, and the center is cut out. So you get the sense that just holding it doesn't do anything. It doesn't trigger for like ambient noise.
I think you got to talk into the hole.
Hello?
As you say hello, the rest of you on the other side of the table, the hello is like weirdly muffled, as if like the sound waves aren't fully coming out into the room. And you holding it, you can feel the edges of the disc kind of like vibrate a little bit in your hand.
I'll like whisper to her, pretend to be Shazarash. If he changes his everything, he can change his voice, right?
This is move the disc further away and be like, that makes sense. Do you think he would use his own name, even with a different voice?
I mean, he'd probably, like, this is kind of a one-way thing. I think he'd probably assume that they know it's him.
I very specifically want to say, just say this before I say this. I feel like every single time I say his name, I say it slightly wrong in
Me
a
too.
different way. So
Yes.
when I say Shazarash, I would like to say that I'm saying it in character correctly, please, because I think I'm gonna fuck it up. And I don't want you to go, that's not you, because I fucked it up.
Hmm. You're trying to preemptively metagame the DM. Come on. What are you doing
Yes, but only because I can't speak.
Sriracha here. How's it going?
Hello, it is sauerkraut. What
Yeah,
up?
checking in.
Shazazard?
Yeah.
Charizard?
Just talk
What,
to him.
what do you say?
Oh god, now I just want to say Charizard. Shazarash, checking in. Is everything okay on your end?
It is silent.
Well, we tried.
Is there a way to deactivate it, or do I just like stop wanting it to hear me?
Yeah, you just kind of like pull it away from your mouth.
Wonderful. Well, that didn't work.
Boring. Oh well. Guess we just go to the castle and get rid of it and hope we never see him again.
Agreed.
Fair enough. We tried.
Shazarash. The disc hums and the voice kind of comes out.
Oh shit.
Did you hear that? It's like when you forget to hang up.
It has been a long time. Have you completed your assignment?
See, you forgot what your assignment was. They need to tell you again.
I can't remember what my homework was. Can you repeat? Do we recognize? Do I recognize the voice?
Make an insight check for me.
Can I do that?
Oh my
too?
god, that's a nat 20.
Never mind.
You have never heard this voice before.
No, that's very upsetting.
Yeah, but you're so sure you've never heard it before.
Yeah, an insight check is +7 as well, so I am 27%, 27,000%. I've never heard this voice before. Good dice. I'm retiring my new set of dice. They've not been doing well. I'm sticking with these ones. They're my favorite, even
So
if they
you
didn't
have a
actually
mission.
get me information.
Didn't he tell us that he was like totally on his own all the time? Oh no, he told us that people used him all the time. This guy was using him.
I know we probably shouldn't be leaving very long pauses between responses, but he took a while
He
to
did.
reply. I feel like something along the lines of things are progressing.
If you
Have
say it's
instructions
complete,
changed?
or if you say it's complete, maybe he'll tell you to come back and you can be like, remind me where that is.
What if you just say that you're a huge fucking failure and you deserve to die and that they should come and kill you?
I heard about Shithesis. Come back and we can compensate you for your loss.
I'm going to be doing this when I'm talking to the rock, and this one, that when I'm not. I doubt you could arrange sufficient compensation. Things are progressing, but perhaps we need further instruction.
That was...
Make a deception check for me.
Fuck. Okay, I threw my nice dice on the ground, like all the way on the ground. 13 plus 3, 16.
16.
I'm gonna get that dice because it's been being really nice to me and I want it back. Shh, Lily.
Where are you operating? We can send someone with updated information.
I think just tell him the truth. Like, does he want like Valterra? Does he want specifics? You could say. Should we tell him he's infiltrated the castle? That's probably a bad idea, isn't it? I mean, who cares? We're leaving anyway. I'll stop rambling.
You seem much more content to burn bridges in this city now than you were a few hours ago.
Natalie and I came to some realizations. It doesn't matter right now.
I am currently in Valetaire. Is this method of communication no longer secure?
You will be contacted.
Ellie Sazerac is just, there we go, I fucked it up again. Isn't the kind of person to say long goodbyes, so I think I'm just gonna put it back in my pocket.
Tell him you've been thinking about them in a sexy way.
I will see you tonight in my dreams. Bye! I don't think that would be a good idea. I think that went relatively well. I feel like that might ruin it.
I think we're missing a chance to embarrass him, and he deserves it.
I mean, we have lured an unknown force into this town without his knowledge. That's you've got to count that as a win.
What was the name of his friend? We can use it against him.
Yeah, if you thought Shazarash was difficult, Shithithis?
Shithithis.
It's gonna be Shithithis from now on.
Shithithis.
Thank you.
Okay,
Tell
so
us
we
you-
decided what we're going to do, and we're clean, and we spoke to someone on the weird disc, so are we going to the castle now, or what?
I hate that I'm suggesting this. I genuinely hate that I'm suggesting this. Does anybody else want to find out what the fuck that was all about? Do we want to stay for a little longer?
I hate it.
I know.
Look, only because it's about this.
I don't think you specifically get a vote.
I
Give Emmy a vote, we just know what it's for.
Excuse me, I want to stay for this reason and this reason alone.
Oh, so you don't want to stay for Silence at all? You don't care about him anymore? That was quick.
I mean, he's fun. Like it's a side benefit, I suppose.
A side benefit. I'll make sure to let him know you said that.
Fine, you can. He won't believe you.
What he does.
Hey, we can find a way to spend the extra time. What was his name? Because I've written as Eilith, I keep saying Eilith, but I know it's Elith, isn't it?
Who?
Elith, the one who was outside the city, the human. The Canadian human.
Aelith.
Oh,
Aelith, that's right.
Aelith.
I'm like, how do you-
A-Y-L-E-T-H.
Oh, A-Y. I wrote E-Y. I'm like, Elith?
Aelith.
That doesn't seem
Aelith.
right.
Oh, you thought, okay, no, he's from Minnesota, not from Canada.
Damn.
Wait. I don't understand geography when it comes to anywhere in North America.
It's very close to Canada, but whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, we're all Australian. We got clothes.
Yeah,
Oh.
sorry.
Yeah.
We did our best. It
We
was
had
Yeah.
A. I'm just assumed.
Um, They did say that we could take some time off.
And
Why don't we take
technically,
some
we are
days off?
investigating something very peculiar.
Very true. Doesn't matter if it takes us a few more days to work out what's going on.
Well, we all know my vote. And since Aery's just gone to the bathroom, I'm going to say he votes let's stay.
Maybe we can find a proper bathhouse around here.
Oh, he'd love
Have
that.
a pampering day or something.
Yes, let's get pedicures.
I don't know how I feel about someone touching my feet.
Have you never had a pedicure?
No.
Okay, this is now the mission.
This is not
Okay.
the mission.
You're getting one too.
But it's not the mission.
Would you like pink or red polish? Or black? I'm sure they have black. Black would suit you.
This doesn't need to be organized now.
But it is the mission.
And I think that's where we can end tonight's session. Amazing. Awesome. Well, welcome back. Oh no, put your headphones in. Welcome back.
We're getting pedicures.
Fuck yeah.
But this is also the end of the session. So.
Yes,
Oh.
we're wrapping up the session because it is very late for me.
Right, very fair.
Yes. Yes, we will talk a little bit more offline and try to figure out what y'all want to do next, because I'm pretty sure you've covered all of the options and have committed to none of them.
No, I think-
Natalie's
I think
answer was
we've-
let's do them all,
I
just
think
in a
we've-
specific order.
Yeah,
Hmm.
we've got an order, and it's stay here until this weird person shows up,
Mhm.
which might be a few days, and then we go to the pot, and then we go to Pikes, well,
Mhm.
technically north of Frovale, and then we go to Olsen. Plan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Easy. Great. Well, great. That's our roadmap, everybody who's watching. Thanks so much for coming and listening to our episode today. This has been the Chocolatiers episode number 22, and we will be back next week at a similar time. If anybody has anything to say to our wonderful audience at home, tell us a little bit about yourself, and now is your opportunity. This is your platform to do so. Do we want to run through person by person, or does anybody just want to hop in, say something, and we hop out?
We might as well do the order, otherwise we'll just get mixed
The
up.
usual? Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
The
Aery.
usual order.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Jimmy the Cat, and I play Aery. I'm not really doing that much at the moment, to be honest. But I am still doing art periodically. Cause I got lots of shit to do, and you may see some new art from me on the channel soon, or maybe you won't. Who knows? Yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Awesome. Big exciting. Natalie.
Hello, I am BurrowsRed, who plays Natalie. I am a content creator on the internet. I have a bunch of things coming out at the moment that literally would take up another whole 3 hours to explain to you all the things. But the most exciting thing is that I have a giveaway currently going on Twitter, my Discord, and Instagram to give you... Hey, hang on. One of these, and then also some stickers and stuff. So go check that out. But you can find my link in the panels.
Emmy.
Yeah, as usual, I'm Nicole. I don't do a lot of stuff on the internet and create content or anything fun like that. So I'll just sing the praises of these other talented artistic people. Like, I'm talented too, but just not on the internet. I promise I am. I'm good at stuff. I just don't want to show you. Yeah, I'll see you next week.
Awesome. Ori.
And me, I'm Maleficent. I am a streamer, cosplayer, idiot. I usually do a lot of things, but at the moment I'm not doing a lot of things. So I don't know, just follow me on Twitter. I'm vaguely entertaining there. So,
I have been D. I have been our dungeon master for the evening. I'm gonna parrot everyone else. Sometimes I do stuff. Usually I don't. Do you want to find me? Link is in the doobly-doo. If you don't, you're not missing much.
shame.
If you
Sounds
don't
awful,
get better taste.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't,
Um,
you're wrong.
yes. Bros, are we ready with the channel to jump to?
We sure are. There is someone who I haven't seen before, who are a combination of Australian and New Zealanders who are playing some Sunday D&D. They are level 3. Very exciting.
The babies.
Small children.
Yes.
Oh,
Level
wee
3s are now
youngins.
small children.
Oh,
I
yeah,
hope it is
wee
a campaign
laddies.
of like all little children. How adorable.
Oh
yeah.
my god. Wonderful. Great. Well, then I guess whenever we're ready, we'll hop on over there. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been a... Why am I looking at this? My webcam is over here, and I'm like, thank you for watching, everyone. I'm so tired. Yes, it has been a wonderful evening. We look forward to next week and to finding out more things about what's happening in the world. Yes, machinations, planning, plots, and schemes. Or is the party just overthinking everything? I don't know. Let's find out next week. Thanks.
Very likely.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.